Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome. Hollywood After Dark. December 2nd, 2021, 23 days till Christmas. And only 15 days until all of our lives change when Spider-Man No Way Home finally hits theaters. Going to be talking about a surprise screening tonight and some of the minimization that the press is not going to be able to get their hands on, as well as a bunch of stuff. And of course, my personal favorite, Should Watch. All that here and more tonight, Hollywood After Dark. Let's effing go. Hey, what's going on, everyone? Let me get this off the screen there. I always forget to do that. It's my gift. It's my curse to be an idiot. How are you guys? I hope everyone is doing well. Tonight, of course, is just another fun-filled day in the entertainment space. Not really. It was kind of a slow day, to be honest with you. Nothing really earth-shattering happened. Nothing really mind-blowing happened, but that's okay. Not every day is Christmas, but there's always things to talk about, which is why tonight we are going to be diving into a video I've been meaning to cover for a couple of days, as well as having a good, grand old conversation just about whatever the hell else is going on. So as always, I want to hear your thoughts and your opinions as we go through the episode. And if you have topics and subjects you want us to take a look at, we will totally do that. Let me give a quick chat shout out here. I see Davey, I see Ray, I see Geeks, I see Frost Family Takeover. I see Dat Dude Vince, what's up? I see, all right, I think I'm kind of catching up. Luke, Jordan, Spherical Man, Tony McLeod, Andrew, Music Man, Connor saying here, make sure to smash that like button. You smash it. You smack it like you want to see the new Spider-Man movie. How badly do you want to see it? You smack that like button. I see Andrew Casali here. What's up, Andrew? You saw Spider-Man, you came running? I get you, bro. I get you. HBarts says here we got to avoid spoilers. Yeah, maybe. Maybe that will happen. Maybe not. I don't quite know. But first, before we dive into the main topics for tonight, let me bring in my co-hosts for the stream. We got Caden and we got RJ. How are you guys doing?
Hey, what's up, man?
So it's been a fun one, right? We also, just as a quick side note, Dane from Force Adversity will be joining us here in a little bit. His exact words to me were, "I have to go to the vape shop like a douchebag."
His exact words.
I'm not making that. That was his Twitter DM to me. I have to go to the vape shop like a douchebag. It's like, all right, this is why I quit smoking 15 years ago. And I never went to a vape shop. I'm not a douchebag, but I went to a fucking hookah parlor quite often. You guys ever done hookah?
I have not, no.
Oh my God, it's great. It's like smoking like an entire pack of cigarettes in like an hour. It's phenomenal.
That doesn't sound good.
It's amazing. You ever smoked? Well, you probably haven't, but I'm hypothetically going to ask you, have you ever smoked through like a mango or an apple or a watermelon?
What?
Yeah. We used to this place in San Diego called Sinbad's. It was right there in Pacific Beach. My friends and I used to go when we were like 18, 19, something like 20, somewhere in there. We'd go down there and we'd like, hey, let's go and like hit up the hookah bar, because it's like PB is the hot place to be. It's where all like the college girls were. So of course we had to be there, and us non-suave, debonair gentlemen, we're hitting everybody up and stuff, having a good old time. But yeah, I used to go there, smoke quite a bit. And then I don't even know if they're still, I think they're closed now. I think they're closed. I think the pandemic killed them. Not quite unlike the cancer they probably gave guests, but still.
I think there's still quite a bit of other hookah bars out there.
No, there's a ton of hookah, man. I need to get a hookah. I need to definitely, I haven't smoked anything in years, but there's that. HBarts here says there's too much tar in a hookah. I don't care, man. It's good shit.
Tar in the lungs.
Jordan here says, I appreciate Hwad because I always learn something new. And you know what? That's my goal, Jordan. I want to entertain.
That's the beauty of Hwad.
And then I had to, it's like I can't do Boulder Talk, but I can at least find ways to like slide in some stuff. You might learn a thing about hookah or porn. It's
well,
that's
just like that. It's just No, I had a point. I had a point. I was trying to get to a point on that one, and then as soon as I said it, I like totally lost exactly what I wanted to say, and I couldn't think of a segue fast enough. So there's just dead air. But hey, you can think that there's some comedy behind it. It's really just me being an idiot. Hold on here. What is it?
Being an idiot.
Degrassi says you had to wear Zubaz to get into Sinbad's. I don't know what Zubaz is. I don't know. It was a long time ago, man. When I was in my early young lad days. Let's see. Does hookah have nicotine? I think I don't know if it does or doesn't. All I know is Daddy loves to smoke it. So there's definitely all that. But all right, Matt is the GOAT. No, I'm not. Not by any stretch of the imagination. Tony here says the stream might as well be BTR light given the shit we talk about here. Listen, man, entertainment is not just entertainment. All right. If you're entertained in the conversation, then I believe at this point you're definitely having like you're getting the value out of it. And I'm very happy because we viewers have been going up. It's been a lot of people have been kind of chiming in after the fact or getting some new commenters in the chat, new people watching live, and that's fantastic. I love it. Let's see. So Andrew here says, I will smoke a cigar on occasion, like weddings or Super Bowls, but generally no tobacco here. Yeah, I mean, like, do you inhale the cigar?
Dad. He only does a cigar like on a special occasion, on his birthday or like on one of his friends' birthdays, like if they have one.
I never understood the cigar stuff. That was never me. I could never get into the cigar culture, because I always just, like, I just don't get it. It's like you're sitting there putting it looks like you're smoking on a turd. It just looks like you're sitting there and it's like ha 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 ha, and let me just puff on this thing. But that's not to say like I've never done that. I think if I recall, probably the last time I smoked a cigar was sometime at maybe 2008, 2009. It was winter, and my best friend Mark hit me up one day. He's like, hey man, you want to go to the mountains? And I'm all like, oh no. He's like, hey, do you want to go to Sunrise Highway? And I'm all like, yeah, all right. Because we used to bomb out there and check out the sunrise. Because the Sunrise Highway in East County, San Diego, you could actually see all the way to the desert. So like when the sun was coming up over the desert, you'd be able to see through the mountains. It's really pretty, especially during the winter. And so we drive up to the mountains and stuff, and it's snowing. And he's like, I got an idea. And I'm like, what? He's like, let me pull over. I've got 2 beers in the trunk. I'm like, why the fuck do you have booze? All right, whatever. So we pull over, and he's like, but the beer was warm. So it was colder outside, so we just set the beer in the snow to let it freeze. And he's like, but I also got cigars. And I'm like, I don't smoke anymore. And he's like, yeah, but you could puff on it. And I'm like, yeah, all right. So we sat there just kind of like shivering our asses off because we didn't bring any actual like winter gear. And we're like waiting for our beer to cool in the snow while puffing on these terrible cigars that he bought from like the liquor store or something. Yeah, it's fun moments, things like that. Things that you remember, like with your friends when you're just doing stupid shit.
Yeah. I remember a story that my dad told me. He went to a cigar shop when he was filming a movie, and he was literally in who was the Duke's town in Louisiana, and he was like, oh yeah, like after he like bought all the cigars he needed. Like it was like, okay. I forget the Duke's name, like the KKK Duke.
Oh, the Grand Wizard?
The Grand Wizard, yes.
Because I wanted to quote Tenacious D. There's a song like, we'll make you a Duke, a kick-ass Duke.
Yeah, not the Duke. I forget what it is, yeah. But
I don't know, like...
It was crazy. I was like, wow. You
want to know the funniest thing the KKK ever did?
David Duke.
David Duke, right? Yeah, the former Grand Wizard of the KKK. Yes. That's who it is. Yeah. There we go. Now we're talking history.
Now.
No, but seriously, you want to know the funniest thing the KKK ever did? Remember when like they had that big thing like the following stretch of highway is sponsored by X company, right? They could sponsor a bit of highway. The KKK sponsored a bit of the highway.
Oh, no.
Like in the South somewhere. So like you're just driving down the road, you look up and it's all like, this stretch of land is sponsored by the Ku Klux Klan. And you're like, what?
You're like, what?
Well, I'm driving out of here.
Well, let's go faster. Let's go faster. Must go faster. Must go faster.
Faster. Hurry up. Let's get out of here.
You don't want to get pulled over on that highway. Let me tell you.
Nope.
Yeah, you don't want to get pulled over on the highway and not be of white descent. You
They'd be
know,
like, "Where's
the
your
Halloween
car?"
decorations on the stretch of highway are just nothing but ropes.
Oh my god.
It's just terrible shit. But anyway, yeah, the KKK, fuck them. May
Yeah,
they burn in hell.
exactly.
There's my political PSA for the evening. If
For
you
the
guys
evening.
don't already know my politics, well, now you do. Although Davey here with a very sweet comment here, I'd love to freeze my balls off in the snow, drinking a beer whilst watching the sunset over the desert with Matt Jarbo. Technically, it was the sunrise, but because the coast was right there, we could also exchange the snow for the sand and chill out on the beach and have a bonfire and watch the sunset, which we have done multiple times in my younger days before they banned all booze on the fucking beaches and sand. It's terrible not being able to get drunk anymore on the coast. But that's that. Yeah,
I
DeGrassi here
remember,
says the buttress of Windsor. That's right.
I remember we did a bonfire like before our graduation like last year, and like they were like there was like a couple of them that like brought hard alcohol, and then the other ones brought like White Claws and stuff. I was like, okay. Like you
White
can have
claws.
hard alcohol.
Just call them pussies.
Stay over there.
It's all
Stay
like,
over there.
I got my White Claw. What are you gonna do? What? Like, what are you worried about happening? It's like, I have my hard seltzer.
I just like I don't understand it. Like, okay. If you're gonna yes, he was. Topher Grace was that. But yeah, I was just like, okay. Like, you can
BlackKLansmen's a
do
great movie, by the way. It's an awesome movie. If you haven't watched that, go watch that. It's great.
Which one?
BlackKLansmen.
Oh yeah, I haven't seen BlackKlansmen.
Oh,
I've heard
you
good things
haven't
about
watched
it.
It's so damn good.
Jordan
he-
Peele was gonna direct it, but he gave it to Spike Lee.
and Spike Lee directed the hell out of that movie, man.
Oh my god.
I see. The thing is, like, when it comes to Spike Lee movies, I'm hit or miss on them. You know, like, I just feel like, again, look, this is my personal take on it, is I understand the need for messaging, but I also feel that there are times when the messaging becomes too much and you start taking away from the story.
Then
in
you
order
are
to
not going to like the ending of
No,
BlackKLansmen.
I'm not. No, I don't mind.
I mean,
Again, I don't mind. Like,
BlackKlansman
this is also me when I was
was
younger. You know what I
very
mean? So
smart.
me as I'm older is a little bit different. You know,
Right.
like it's like me when I'm younger, I was like, God, Schindler's List, you know, because it's so heavy. It's
Yeah.
so heavy. It's like a 14-year-old is not going to understand the context, like the general context. Extermination of Jews, bad. You know, Schindler helping them, good. I mean, you understand the highs of it, right? The high concept stuff. But it's like when you get into the nitty gritty of things like that, when you're younger, you don't really pick up on it, and they don't ever really do a lot to explain it to you. So I need to give it a watch. I've heard nothing but fantastic things about it. It's on Netflix, isn't it? Was it a
Yeah,
Netflix
I think
movie?
it is. Let me see. But yeah, it's a great movie. BlackKlansman.
It's not that I don't like Spike Lee.
It's
It's
on
just that
Vudu.
I don't necessarily I don't necessarily like get into his work as much as other people do, right? Like I will say this, so Inside Job I thought was really well done. But that also was more of a commercial endeavor. So, I mean, it just, you know, hit or miss sort of thing. Let's see. Apparently, HBarts here says Spike Lee and Tyler Perry hate each other. Oh yeah, I could see that
Like,
happening.
because I was like talking with a friend. I was like, Tyler Perry thinks sometimes he's the shit when he's not. Like,
Well, you can like Tyler Perry or hate him all you want, but there's no denying that the man is successful.
oh yeah, he's successful, but he's just like, you shot a movie in a week.
Yeah, but to be fair to him, though, not only is he financially successful, he's kind of poured out his financial success back into the community in some ways, though.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
No,
I mean, absolutely.
I just don't like his work. But
Well, I mean,
do
like, you
respect-
know, again, Medea, look, Medea at the time filled a very interesting niche. And this is something that when I was living in LA, a guy I knew was working on. So Tyler Perry made black themed movies for black audiences. And it just happened that those audiences also very much, it very much worked with the white community as well. Especially, I would argue, like probably the upper elderly, you know, like the people who think The Help is like solid A+ cinema, you know,
right.
like they're helping out by watching it.
Yeah, Tyler Perry does have his own studio in Atlanta. Yeah, it's like
Yeah,
the
he
biggest,
does.
one of like the biggest studios.
Yeah. Well, hold
Uh,
on though. Hold on though. What are you trying to say, Matt? You don't like The Help?
No, I think that was a great movie.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
I liked
Daniel
it quite a
Butler's
bit.
Help.
But let's be realistic though. Let's be realistic. Emma Stone helping black women, it's a little on the nose. It's a good movie. I really really like it, but it's a little on the nose in regards to the white savior complex.
Whoa.
I mean that's it's
It kind of is.
it kind of is. I mean, but if you look at like when it happened, what the era of which it was set, like obviously with Jim Crow laws and things like that, it was going to be a little different. But it's still, it's like, here's an intrepid young journalist played by Emma Stone who wants to, go talk to the working class black women out there to get their voice out, the maids and the help and stuff, and get their voices out. It's a great idea.
Pie.
Yeah, the poop pie, and the poop pie. This reminded me of that scene in The Color Purple where Whoopi Goldberg talks about pissing in that or tea or whatever.
You cut out there, Matt, but I couldn't think of a better time for you to cut out than whatever you were going to explain right there.
But I understood what he was saying.
Yeah, I get what he meant.
Yeah. But no, I will say this though. Look, Tyler Perry, I have a lot of respect for Tyler Perry.
I have respect for him
because I think he's done a lot of work. I think Spike Lee has done a lot of good work as well. I think the difference is though is Tyler Perry is a businessman. Spike Lee is an activist. They are two separate entities.
Exactly.
One is 100% about capitalism, but he has given money back to the community, and he has done a lot to elevate up people that need it. And Spike Lee is out there trying to challenge the system. It's one of those things where it is what it is. But I mean, that's kind of the whole point of movies is they tell stories from different perspectives, and they give you a different idea, at least based upon what the director is trying to say. And a good skilled storyteller can absolutely sell you on something that you may not be able to see otherwise, and I think I'll tell you this though, I think that's part of the problem of today, where a lot of people now, when they hear about a messaging in a movie, they automatically just kind of clam up. They just don't, it's not that they don't want to be taught something or told something. It's just that they don't want to feel bad while it's happening. And anything that might upset the status quo is different. And that gets challenged. And then you get people like, the Fandom Menace type guys that, oh my God, there's a woman in a show.
Right.
Ladies and gentlemen, she's not barefoot, pregnant, and in front of the stove. This is a problem. Sound the alarms, rally the troops. We go to war. Because
it boils down to some people just don't want to hear anything contrary or even risk anything contrary to like what they genuinely believe. They don't want to hear like anything like that. So they're afraid of that risk. Like, oh no, like even the perspective of politics that they don't like make it into their media just frightens them. And I can't really relate that much. Even in
fandom, there are people out there who just cannot hear an alternative opinion. And I think it depends on the subject. Like I get passionate about certain things as I have been hot-headed on a couple topics. And I'll admit that. But at the same time, when I look at certain fandoms and it's like they don't get what they want specifically, they can turn pretty nasty pretty quick. And I was like that with the After the Last Jedi. I was mad after The Last Jedi, but it subsided relatively quickly. I was mad leading up to Ghostbusters 2016. And then when I saw Ghostbusters 2016, but it subsided pretty quickly because it's like, well, it's here, but it's bad. And then it's like, we move on with our lives. But
yeah. And I think what you're like with these people, they just like what Tooncock says, stay angry, my friends. Like he sells hate and he buys hate. And
yeah.
And it's like, you may hate something, like you're saying, you may hate something for like a short period of time, but people like Dimcock and Karen Pasha,
and that's the thing,
extend that term of hatred.
If all you ever do is fucking consume that shit online, then you start to just be a bunch of fucking pile of hatred yourself. That's all you fucking turn into. Just the same type of exact fucking person who looks at everything, every fucking scenario, and you're like, how can I get pissed off about this? It's almost like you're getting your next fucking fix, looking for that next high so you can get pissed off again all over again. It's weird.
Well, and that's just how those particular dopamine levels operate. I mean, You know, like there's like I'll tell you this. I scroll through YouTube right these days, and I'm looking for something to listen to, and a lot of it I'm bored by. To be fair, you know, like I'm like, oh, especially on entertainment coverage. Like I prefer the discussions more than like the news breakdowns.
Oh yeah.
Because you know, I subscribe to like Comic Book Cast, and I should really fucking unsubscribe. I haven't watched an Armin video in like forever.
See that's the thing though. I'm still subscribed, not really for the news videos. Although there's occasionally I'll watch one of them, but like I'm there for the podcast. That's it. If they said like a separate channel for the podcast, I would just sub to that one. I don't. Some of those news videos get into like emergency awesome levels of bullshit.
Yeah, I'll tell you this. I have a hot take about Emergency Awesome. I think he is sent stuff early. Like, I think he has a hookup, especially on Game of Thrones. I think he had a hookup that absolutely got him stuff early. Whether it's a review, because he would have his videos up within like an hour of that shit dropping. You know, they were super fucking quick.
Yeah,
and
I would say that I was subscribed to him for like a long time, and then I was just like recently I just was like, nope, unsubscribe.
Well, because now he just clickbaits. Is all just like, you know,
top 10 things happen in this trailer when the trailer hasn't even released yet, and it's just like a poster.
Yeah, that's my biggest complaint with like the YouTube algorithm at this point, is because you have to be sensationalistic. But I'll tell you the other thing with Emergency Awesome, and I think Everything Always does this as well, even though you can tell Everything Always is an absolute direct ripoff of Emergency Awesome.
Oh yeah.
And the thing is, and the reason why is because Everything Always is he'll do the he's trying to get ahead of him in the algorithm, right? Like if it's like alphabetical. Right. But because also it's like it's going to be so close together, people are going to click. But like you'll see that Charlie will go, we're giving away like you know, like the
Flash Watch.
Yeah, we'll give away this that thing, and then all of a sudden like Emergency Awesome is like or sorry, Everything Always will give away something very similar. And it's like, okay, I think like he's, you know, he's trying to mimic Charlie enough to where the average person isn't going to know the difference, you know? And then there's another guy now, speaking of the giveaway thing, and he's got like, I think 13,000 subs. And he's like, all right, guys, at 25,000 subscribers, I'm giving away a PS5. And I'm like, that's a long way to go, bro. That's a long way to go. That's like asking someone to like, you know, really invest.
You have 11 followers on Instagram. If I get 1K in a week, I'll give away.
Yeah, that's the equivalent of like the equivalent of like a 25,000 sub channel saying, guys, if I get to like 500,000 subscribers, I'm gonna give away like $100 Amazon gift card. It's like, okay. Like, all right.
Here we go. Samir says, excuse me while I launch my new channel, Late Night Hollywood. That'd be fine. That would be fine. I have nothing against that, because the thing is, like, I don't you know, I don't own like the name Hollywood After Dark. There's like, I can't even buy the domain name because the domain name's been bought by somebody else. And I don't have, you know, like there's certain elements of it, like other people have used it, whatever. It is what it is, you know, and people would know my branding over other people's branding and stuff. But there was a guy the other day who had his video ripped, and then he had the guy, whoever ripped it, took the exact same script, re-recorded the script, removed the face cam stuff, and then put it back. And I'm like, he's complaining about him being ripped off, and then using it as a way to kind of argue that the dislike button needs to be there. And I'm like, just fucking DMCA the guy. You know, he clearly stole your content. DMCA his ass. And then people were pushing back on me about DMCAing him and arguing with me about fair use. And I'm like, no, that's not how this operates. Like, ugh. People. But anyway, HBarts here. $5. Thank you, buddy. Says Jamie Foxx and Spike Lee got into a fight over Django. Oh, really? What happened with that? I don't even know. I mean, that doesn't surprise me though. I would pretty sure that Spike Lee would probably argue that he probably would argue that Jamie Foxx would not be doing good things with that. Nihilus here is talking about Armin for Comic Book Cast. Says Armin is another idiot that has nothing to say. The thing with Armin, if you listen to like those videos, they're short. They're like 3.5 minutes, 4 minutes at maximum. And Armin, he just sits down and he records. Like you can just listen to him,
Yeah.
and you can tell there's no
Well,
format.
you can tell too because if it's a 4-minute video, it's like 2.5 minutes of filler and then the news.
Yeah, he'll be like, "Hi guys, so the Snyder cut is apparently coming. I don't know. That's what they're saying. Let's talk about it." And then it's okay, everybody. I mean, we all know that people out there want to see the Snyder. It's like, dude, get to the fucking point. Get to the. I mean, and I'm a long-winded talker, and I acknowledge that shit. But it's like
I don't know how in a 4-minute video we still the issue of land the goddamn plane. You know.
Yeah. Yeah. I know a lot of people out there need to land the goddamn plane. They really do. And I say this even myself. I catch myself when I used to do like the 3 videos a day and I was trying to get to the 10-minute mark. You know, I would catch myself oftentimes in this loop. And people criticize me on it, but I never wanted to listen because in my mind I'm talking. But as I'm trying to pad out the content, as I'm trying to pad out the time, it ends up just kind of recycling the same points. And oftentimes when we cover a lot of this stuff, I think a lot of us feel the need to kind of offer a bit of a history lesson. And I know that I do that. I absolutely know that I do that. But but you don't know what the person watching, if they're aware of it or not. But it's such a it's a hard thing when you're doing it without a script or without really a format and you're just kind of diving in. But again, when someone like Armin cranks out 4 to 6 videos a day, and you know he'll read like we got this covered and like he'll claim it's a scoop or some shit. I don't fucking know. Like it's just good for them on the podcast.
2 fucking scoops of shit.
It's like you have so many like of these YouTubers and like YouTubers / Twitter users that are like so like act like they're scoopers or reporting rumors and it just gets tiring sometimes. I just like you don't even know what you're talking about, person.
Well, I mean, like, I get it. You know, not everyone out there is gonna, you know, look, the YouTube game is difficult, right? The YouTube game is difficult. It's a marathon. It's not a sprint. You always have to be planning ahead. You always have to be thinking about stuff. I mean, like doing it, like, you know, like doing a live show even is not the easiest thing on the planet. It seems easy. You sit down, you talk about shit for an hour and a half, 2 hours or whatever.
Oh, I tried to open. I was like, Ty or Austin or Jack was gone. I tried to open the show. I could not do that. Nope.
It's it's a skill. It's definitely a skill.
It's a skill
to do it like that. I mean, I catch myself with the ums and the ahs and the you know what
Yes.
and like that, and I hate it when I re-listen to myself and I catch those little tidbits because then I'm like, all right, let me try to see if I can get around that. Let me try to argue if I, you know, but then I'm wondering like I'm there. Trust me when I say this. There's no one more critical of me than me on that front.
Mhm.
And it's really bad when I re-listen to myself. And sometimes like the audio processing through StreamYard is shit. And I'll hear it play back at a video. I'm like, ooh, I could sweeten that a little bit more, you know? And it's like, that's the hardest part about it. It's like no one else fucking cares.
I feel like anyone without a massive ego is their own biggest critic. I feel like that's most people.
Oh, I have a massive ego as well, but I still have crippling depression.
Oh,
So it's one of those things where it's like, you know, it's one of those things where it's like, if I were to, okay, this is just an example. Let's say I was going to kill myself by shooting myself in the head. All right. Okay. I know, extreme example, but let me explain. If I had a gun with a single bullet and I had it to my head and I'm like, I'm going to kill myself, then I would stop and go, but do I really want to die? I mean, people out there like me, right? Like, yeah, people out there like me. I'm good. But I mean, at the same time, you know, I would argue with myself, but then eventually just go, fuck it. Like, I'm too popular.
Jesus. All right. I mean, yeah.
Anyway, it's been a
Fucking
day.
Matt Mikey, man.
It's been a fucking day for me.
It's been a week.
It's been a week. This week, I feel like I hit the wall today, to be honest with you. I was like, today was just, my daughter turns 4 tomorrow. So we got birthday stuff for her in the morning. And I'm just like, oh my God, I don't even like want to deal with shit. But Anthony here does ask a movie related question. Cause again, the first half hour of this show has been all over the fucking place. Asking here, what are your thoughts about that they're going to be reimagining the Zoro character as a hacker?
I
Sounds
hate it.
like shit.
I talked about it on Inesh's stream last night, and we were talking about like it's like I was saying like it sounds like the way that they described it. It sounds like war games kind of. Like if anything, it's more like a war games type movie rather than a Zoro movie. Like
Okay.
I was like, it's not like it's a dude who's an undocumented immigrant who is a hacker who goes under the name of Zoro, but with Z0RR0, and his mother is being attacked by this internet like company, and he needs to hack and stop them.
Okay, so it says here the film reimagines the iconic character as Oscar de la Vega, a young undocumented hacker known as Zoro. While fighting back against a secret government unit that attacked his mother, he discovers a high-tech conspiracy that threatens not only his family but the world.
Sounds so bad.
Yeah, I'm a pass on that one. I mean,
Like if
There are
it,
so-
if it
there are
was a
so many
Zoro
bad-
2.0, like also the title is dumb. Zoro 2.0. Like wouldn't that mean there was a 1.0 before this? Like
yeah, so the director here says that this is his quote about it. He says, "I've always been interested in films that address real-world issues through genre. This project is an opportunity to connect Zorro, the original Masked Avenger, to today's border wars, a conflict in which immigrant families are pitted against regimes of high-tech surveillance and government control. Zorro 2.0 will be visually elevated, socially grounded sci-fi cinema, and I'm thrilled to be working with Sobini to get this vision on the screen." I don't know who the hell Sobini
See,
is.
And
here's the thing. There's a way you can do that without like ruining the Zorro concept. You can address those themes in a different way where you're not
Yeah, you
crapping
don't have
on
to
what
use
makes
Zorro.
Zorro.
Exactly. You just have to have a little bit of fucking nuance in your brain. That's all.
and
That
also
just
like
seems so stupid to me, though. It's such a
I
weird
was-
thing.
I was like, at least we have the Robert Rodriguez and Sofia Vergara NBC show.
Well, I'm more open-minded to something that tries to reimagine a character in a unique way for the modern age than something that literally just tries to do the same thing over and over again. I'm interested in a unique take on like an older franchise or property. So,
Well, here's the thing: is as I went and looked at the at their website right now, and I go to click, they only have on their main page. They only have one movie that they've done. It's a movie called Emperor, that's inspired by the legend of Shield's Emperor Green, a descendant of African kings turned outlaw slave in pre-Civil War South. Seeking freedom for his family, Emperor fights his way north, joining the daring raid on Harper's Ferry and helping alter the course of American history. The thing is, the movie's got really no one of note outside of James Cromwell, who you guys might know from Babe. That'll do,
Oh.
Pig.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That'll do, Pig. You know, and then Bruce Dern, who pops up in some late Tarantino films and whatnot. And it's that's it. That's all they got. And then I click on their library and I get an error 404 not found.
Yeah, that's what I did too. I was like, so all you have is this one movie? That doesn't
Well,
sound interesting.
You click on any other part of their website outside of their main page, and literally it's all error 404. So I don't know.
Error 37.
Weird.
Yeah. So this is
Zoro
like, look,
2.0 hacked their site.
I mean, look, yeah, you can tell. Look, I'm looking at the trailer right now for Emperor, and you can totally tell that this thing is shot very much to be, you know, a low budget. This thing probably didn't have anything more than maybe $1 million. But that's about it.
It's probably how the Zorro movie is going to look too. Very low budget.
Yeah, you know, it's like we're bringing. What is it? We're bringing. We're gonna make it like a visually stunning sci-fi movie about a hacker. You know, does anyone remember like the screensaver shit from Hackers in '95?
Oh God,
Like how bad that looked. Like no one is gonna want any of that stuff.
it's going to look really fake and bad.
Mad here 1306 asks, did we see the first look at Kang on the Ant-Man shirt? Yes, I did see it, and I know Grace posted it on Twitter. It was posted by other people first. She actually just retweeted it. So
It was posted by the Cosmic Circus first.
Yeah, so
Cosmic
that'd be-
Circus got it first. So
yes, that'd be Lizzie, but I don't think Lizzie gets a lot of credit, to be honest with you, these days.
So me and Lizzie were talking, we're like, and she was like, it was like one of the things where I was like, it feels very much like a boys' club with like Casey Walsh and Charles Murphy, and she's like, yep.
Oh yeah, Casey Walsh is like hardcore, man.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
fucking hardcore.
I like
Like-
him, but sometimes he can be very, very hardcore.
Yeah.
Like the other day, I was just like, yikes.
You can tell when he gets on a tirade about stuff.
Yeah.
So here apparently is the Ant-Man and the Wasp stunt team shirt, as we can see here, the damaged Ant-Man helmet, and then who's there? Right there. Who's that
there?
looking back? Motherfucking Kang.
See, that looks like the fan art that I've seen on like DeviantArt.
It's
kind
this
of posted
this
on there.
Peter Xamai guy. I think it's that art style. The same.
Yeah, I have seen that one as well. Let me try to find that real
I have it
quick because
saved.
I know the fan art you're talking about,
Yeah.
and I can find it here super quick because since I'm actually logged into my alternate Twitter account, I can actually see things on Grace's timeline because she has me blocked on my other account. So there we go.
That's why I was like one of the reasons why I have. Yep, that.
Well,
Yeah,
I
it
mean,
looks just like that, kind of.
well,
Kind
no, I mean, it kind of, but not really at the same time,
Yeah.
right? I mean, like, it looks similar, but I,
I mean,
would argue.
I'm not
that's
saying
like,
it's a bad thing. I'm just saying, like, I don't know if that's like the final design we're gonna see in the movie or like a rough concept that they took from like fan art and stuff. You know what I mean?
yeah. But either way, just the impending image of Kang the Conqueror there is
Yeah.
it's fascinating.
I mean,
That's why I have to laugh
yeah.
at the camera Pasha. That's like, there's no plan for Marvel right now, and you're like,
Look right
yeah,
here.
we're looking at him.
We're looking at him. We're looking at the plan.
Well, also,
Right
it's
now.
funny too about this image as well. Like Ant-Man, like this, like the tone of this, right? Like you see the destroyed Ant-Man helmet. That seems like Ant-Man's gonna go through a lot of crap in this movie.
I
Maybe,
think that's
you know?
that's the Civil War helmet, and Jeff Loveness when he announced that production wrapped, he posted a picture with a new helmet, that is not the same as the one on this shirt. So either again, this is a stunt team. They tend to not have all of the access to the renders of pictures and stuff, and they tend to make their own little stuff. But they do have an idea of what is. So I'm gonna send that Jeff.
Yeah, I would also argue it. I mean, look, it looks like this is going to be darker, which is good because honestly, the second Ant-Man movie was just not that great.
I mean, like both Ant-Man movies are very fun Sunday afternoon comfort movies.
Yeah.
You know, I'm hoping this one is a little more meat to it on the bone. You know, really dig our teeth into the characters a bit more. Really, I mean, you're introducing so many big concepts in this movie. You need to go big or go home at this point.
Also,
right?
according to one of the MCU direct guys, Bill Murray is not playing Scott's dad.
Wait, who is?
Bill Murray.
Bill Murray.
Oh, right. I forgot he got cast in the movie.
Yeah.
I feel like that information kind of came and went, to be honest with you. Maybe I just wasn't paying attention to it. I mean,
well, it's because
it
he's
was
not
like
really
it had a
playing.
2 week
Yeah.
it had a 2 week thing where it was like, oh, like an Italian or French magazine published it, and then a week before there was like a big deal where his photo double was put Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania part of his casting, and then he went on to Jimmy Kimmel and talked about it. So it was like 3 things about it, and then it died down real quick.
oh, okay. Well, I mean, yeah, there's a lot going on for Bill Murray, honestly.
Yeah,
Good.
Ghostbusters Afterlife, and
Yep, which I still need to go see.
yeah,
I thought about going tonight, and then I'm like, nah, I'll go play video games for a while because my kids were just like overtired and not going to bed early, and I'm like, oh, I'm never gonna get the. Love my children, but god damn it.
Right.
Anyway, so as we hit the 40-minute mark of the show, why don't we get into the main fucking topic? And that, of course, is the big news today about apparently these 40-minute press screenings of Spider-Man No Way Home.
Yeah, so what happened was I saw Big Screen Leaks make a post saying that tomorrow there will be a press screening tomorrow. It seems like the big major cities, like I think it's going to be in LA or something. I don't know what's going on with that, but yeah, now we're getting into this controversy about it apparently only being about 40 minutes of footage. So the question is it because they don't
I think it's
want...
multiple reasons. I think one, someone from Discussing Film said this, that it's because it's only for interview purposes.
Yeah, it's only for the press junket.
And
Just
also
so,
it's
yeah.
possibly to, again, prevent leaks from happening, even though the people that might be watching it may not leak anything. It's just precaution. And also, they have a week and a half left of stuff to do I'm sure they're like
See, I don't
2
buy
to 3
that, to
days
be
left.
honest with you.
2 to 3 days
I don't
left of,
buy
Well,
that.
yeah,
work.
Grace is saying, "Oh, the Sony's saying it's because the
Oh,
movie's not
so
finished yet."
Grace
Yeah,
is making
Yeah.
a bigger deal out of this whole visual effects thing
Well,
than
well,
was
well,
already.
well. Look who
Yeah.
it is.
Like, I said this in the chat. I was like, Grace kind of is like, she is very vague about her manner of spreading hate, but she does it, you know.
Okay, I'm willing to put down money on this. When she posts her review, whenever she gets to review the movie, she's gonna talk about one of my complaints in this is that the VFX aren't finished. They don't look great because of what I told you guys, but
Oh my
you
God.
can overlook it because it's so much fun. Watch, she's gonna say exactly that.
Squawk.
I'm willing to put
Does
money on
she
that.
not
She's gonna
realize
talk
that the
about
cut
the
that she
VFX
might
being bad.
watch is probably unfinished?
No.
Like
What the
95%?
No, fuck the jeez. The
No, this
movie
shit-
comes
this
out
shit's
in
been
2 weeks.
done.
It's
This
done.
shit's
It's
been
done.
done. Yeah.
It's been delayed. It's been
Oh.
moved. It's done.
Well.
This I don't understand this fucking weird ass. Like, look, when it comes to the trailers are they lock the footage, you know,
Yeah.
and then they send that off and they work on that shit first.
The trailers are never the final product anyway. we
Yeah,
know
and the
this.
trailers, you can go back and look at the very first trailer for Guardians of the Galaxy in April 2014, and then go and compare that to the finished footage from August of that year. So 4 months later, and it's like you can see where there's increase, where they've done the work on it. Obviously, they are getting the previous stuff done. They're getting all the visual assets done. They're making it look as good as they can, but it's not going to be done yet. But the movie comes out in like 2 weeks, which means at this point they have to like, okay, here's how they have to like get all of the hard drives done, and then have those shipped out, right? So they have to do all the massive up. Well, I guess a lot of those places now, they will just also do the download. So they could probably have the render done by like, I don't know, whatever. But a lot of times these theaters get the movie in many days in advance. The movie, it comes in either on a hard drive or they download it to the server, but they have a key code that they're not able to get until it's like they can test the print, because the theaters still have to test the print, because if the file gets corrupted, they have to have enough time to be able to get another one in order to make sure, and then they have to ingest it into the system, and that that takes about 20 minutes if you're getting it from a hard drive. But really, it all boils down to the fact that it's like this shit is probably already done. We're already in the marketing phase. I find it to be such a
we're
weird.
We're like almost basically exactly 2 weeks away from this movie.
Yeah. Andrew here asks if it's IMAX still on film. No, it's digital these days.
Digital. Yeah.
Yeah, but like it's opening in territories as early as like what, the 14th, the 15th.
It's opening up 2 days early, so that would mean that if the press screenings start happening next week, then the movie's done. There's no way they're going to show you an unfinished.
Well, also remember the premiere. When is the premiere of the movie?
Monday.
Is it Monday? Okay.
Not this upcoming Monday, but the Monday before the movie.
The Monday, yeah.
Okay, so December 13th.
I mean, I could see them not showing the post-credit scenes at this premiere.
They did with how they did Eternals, but this time they'll do it at both press screenings and a premiere.
And it's funny you bring up Eternals, right? Because I wanted to bring this up too. Do you think that the fact that Variety writer leaked the post-credit scene for Eternals might be a reason for why they're handling this movie the way they are?
No, I don't think that's the key. I don't think that's the entire reason. I think the fact that this movie has leaked like a sieve for the entire time that it's been in production. There's been so many leaks that have come out. Now you have all the images. You have the, like there's various what appears to be video clips floating around. Like someone sent me what could potentially be like the opening 10 seconds of the movie, and I'm like, I don't know. It's grainy. It looks like shit. I have no idea if it's real or not. And I won't know till I see the movie. And that's the kind of thing that John Campy is talking about when he says that he has seen a significant amount of the film. That could be anything. What is significant? 30 seconds?
Yeah, significant in his eyes could be like a 15-second shot or something.
Exactly. Yeah. So it doesn't make a lot of sense. Jacob here asking, do you think they're going to show Charlie Cox in the first 15 minutes? Nope. That whatever shot they had that showed them at the table, that's at the end of the movie.
Yeah, with this weird fucking hairline. I don't like
No,
that.
I wouldn't say it's the end of the movie. That seems like a first act kind of. Well, here's the question.
No, it
right?
does. Yeah, I agree with RJ on that. Actually.
No, that seems like a first act thing. I think if Charlie Cox is in the movie, we'll know pretty early on, right? Because
Oh yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah, because
I think
if you think
who,
about it,
who
the
else
court
is in
case
that
would probably
shot?
be
Think
right
about who
there.
else is in that shot.
yeah, Aunt May, and Happy are in that shot, and the rumor is that Aunt May gets got. So
I think Happy is the one who's gonna go, but maybe I don't know. We'll see.
well, here's the question too, right? So it says 40 minutes of footage. That doesn't necessarily mean the first 40 minutes of the movie. This could be 40 minutes of
that means that
whatever they're gonna
exactly
show.
41 minutes. That the
Yeah,
other
that's
two
all they're
fucking
showing. They're
Spider-Man.
showing 40 minutes of
No.
footage. We don't know. It could be stuff from the beginning of the movie, stuff from the middle, a little.
well,
bit
it's
stuff
two.
from the
It's
end.
a. It's
We
a,
don't
It's like
know.
the first act. It's basically the first act of the
Yeah,
film.
Yeah.
So, and that would say, and what we saw in the trailer would essentially be the first act of the film. But
They're
I don't
basically
know.
just they're gonna show them basically like the stuff we already seen.
Yeah, the
Not-
And
fight
here's the
with
thing.
Doc
Here's the thing with
Ock
that.
and
If they're
shit.
only going to show them 40 minutes, it could be a select 40 minutes.
Yeah.
It could
Yeah,
just be a
yeah,
selection of scenes
yeah.
from the movie. But
Yeah,
at the
that's what
same
I'm saying,
time, isn't it also relatively pointless to show them that because they can't really ask any questions and get those answers?
They can't. Yeah, there's nothing they can do with the feedback either. So
Yeah,
like,
and, unless they
that's why
put
I'm
them under an
wondering why-
embargo. But the
Yeah.
embargo, half the time that shit leaks out anyway because somebody tells somebody, and that it's like what was it that you had the Batman screening a couple weeks ago? Everyone's under a massive embargo, yet all of a sudden, all over social media, people were like, "Well, a friend of a friend,
Oh my God.
someone who went there to go see it gave me information." And so again, all this stuff's going to be out there. So whatever potential spoilers are going to be in that first act, whatever happens, that's going to be out. And
yeah, well, it's also a really good point to note. This movie it has a confirmed runtime of 2 hours and like 30 minutes, right? And that's including credits. So 40 minutes is really not that much in the grand scheme of things. Honestly.
no, especially if it ends with them getting ready to bring in, like, let's say Toby and Andrew, if that could be that whole thing right there. But quickly joining the stream is Force Diversity. Dane, what's going on, buddy?
What's up, H-Wads?
whoa,
Did you come back from the vape shop like a douche?
Yeah, dude, I strolled in, just, big fucking clouds rolling out of my mouth like a cool guy. Yeah.
There you go. There you go. That's
All the
how they
ladies-
roll.
Yeah, the ladies are creaming their jeans. It's amazing. But yeah, how you guys doing?
We're doing pretty good. We're just kind of arguing over the semantics surrounding the Spider-Man No Way Home press screening and whether or not they're gonna give the full 40, whatever might be in the first 40 minutes, and even if it's even a worthwhile thing to
Yeah,
do.
I don't even think it is the first 40 minutes. Like I think Matt, when you I think we're both on the same point. I think it could be a select 40 minutes of stuff because if it is for a press junket, they're going to show them whatever's relevant for the actors they're going to be interviewing. So
I just want to say, for the record, I fucking hate press junkets. I hate
yeah.
them.
Yeah.
Sorry, Dan, go ahead.
No, it's all good. You're right. I don't imagine that anybody on any side of them actually likes them. Like, it's just a thing that has to be done, apparently. Well, executives like it. But no, I'd listened to a little bit of you guys talking about how finished the movie is, because there's this, you're looking at it where it's like, some of it's not complete or whatever, but and that's pretty common. I remember when Endgame or Infinity War, one of the two, I saw an interview with one of the effects head of the effects department or whatever, and he was saying that they are pretty much completing effects and polishing them up until the last possible minute, and then after they're released in theaters, they work on them again before Blu-ray and home release. So they're even between being in the theater and then when you see it at home, they've been polishing up the effects some more.
Well, to be fair, if you look at, let's say, Doctor Strange, I'm sorry, not Doctor Strange, WandaVision.
Yeah.
They did have that. They did clean up that last scene of Wanda in Sokovia, and because you remember that where there was oh, you can see a ghost in the mountainside as a camera pans in, and they were just
God.
they
And
were
then,
just
someone totally debunked that.
No.
well, yeah, because they were just fixing it.
Yeah.
So I understand that they're going to be doing a few things and getting it to be a little bit better. That makes a lot of sense, but it's also look, everything is locked. The picture is locked. If anything, it's they're just doing the maybe the final render over certain things.
Yeah.
But I at this point, I'd argue that the whole thing is probably just absolutely ready to go. All right, and then Anna had to bail, so thanks for coming on in, and we'll talk to them later on. And I'm just, I don't know. I'm just I think at this point I just want to see this motherfucking movie.
No,
is
I
where
know.
I'm at with it
No,
because I'm
I'm
so
at-
tired. Like, it's so tired.
So much talking about it. Right?
Well, here's the thing, right? We're about to cross the finish line, right? That's why I feel like the excitement's building up, because we're getting all these amazing new posters. We're getting like the press screens and the press junket should be fun to listen to, see how they talk about the movie. For example, I want to see how they're going to talk to Feige. Oh, I hate those bottom row posters, man.
Well,
Man.
this is the thing. Someone put this collage together of the other posters showing like that, the posters even weren't done. And the thing is, though,
let's be fair, man. These posters are not great.
These posters aren't great. They're also Sony produced posters.
Yeah.
The best looking one is the first one, and the Japanese poster at the end on the top right.
I like that one, yeah. But
maybe I'm gonna be a little contrarian here, but like the one on the top right, I kind of like it.
That's standard Marvel. That's a standard Marvel poster.
Yeah, that's standard looking Marvel poster is one I like the most. Actually, that's my favorite one. So
because it's the most visually appealing. It's the most. You look at that and you're like, all right.
It's also like the perfect blend of a Spider-Man and Doctor Strange style poster.
The
way the city.
I do.
I mean,
I do like this poster. I love this poster
because it looks like Electro has got the the circuitry is like going into the sling ring loop, and then you see also like the kind of the swirl of the city behind him and Green Goblin with the hood, and obviously
tentacles kind of look like they're part of the city as well.
Yeah, so it's very very visually appealing. I mean, you got this one here on the left. These two look like shit.
It's kind of a mess. Yeah.
my favorite thing about this poster here, about all these posters really, is that they pretty much all of them feature like the main villain of the film, and that is going to be Doctor Strange. 100%, it's going to be Doctor Strange.
No,
because it's not Doctor Strange. But I am telling you, every screenwriter bone in my body is like all the misdirection. All of the misdirection is going to ultimately be Doctor Strange is not really Doctor Strange, and
what if it's revealed that he's a super Skrull?
It could be. It could be because Secret Wars is or Secret Invasion. Which one is it?
Secret Invasion.
Invasion is happening. They're filming that one right now in the UK. This is going to clearly tie into that in some way or another. I just don't believe that this Doctor Strange is Doctor Strange. And I'll give you guys my prime example of this. So if you watch the trailer, the first trailer with the whole thing, we're just gonna, we're gonna do this spell that we shouldn't do because you normally wouldn't do it. And then the second trailer says, I want you guys to Scooby-Doo this crap. And that just seems like such an out of place line for him. Right?
It could just be bad editing as well.
It could be like a Franken line.
True, but I have a little bit of something to kind of back that up. Go back to Spider-Man Far From Home. Sam Jackson, go back and watch that movie again. And don't think about the end credit. Think about the first time you saw that movie. Every time Sam Jackson was on screen.
Weird. He was weird.
Didn't it see? Yeah, he felt different. It didn't. I'm watching the movie in theaters and I'm like, man, is it just me or like fucking Sam Jackson doesn't even want to be there? But he just doesn't even want to be there.
Then you realize that was intentional.
And then at the end you find out that it's Talos and his wife, right? And like, oh, now that whole thing makes all the sense. Like it wasn't him. So the out of place characterization of Nick Fury was clearly someone else.
Would they do that ending 2 movies in a row though? Or it's the exact same kind of twist where
it would definitely tie into what's coming. And it would show you that the Skrulls are definitely more powerful than we thought. And that's since I think what Olivia Colman's going to be the Skrull Queen in Secret Invasion. So
she's rumored to be Abigail Brand.
I thought that was
I thought that was Emilia Clarke.
Yeah, that was Emilia Clarke.
Oh, Olivia Colman's playing MI13 agent.
I don't fucking know anymore, man. Like
I thought Emilia Clarke is Abigail Brand. Olivia Colman is MI13 agent / a European version of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah, she's gonna be like the head. Like the rumors that she's basically like the European version of Nick Fury, basically the British.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. But you guys see what I'm trying to say here, though.
No,
right?
I get
like you can tell that the Skrulls are going to be a larger part to what's going on.
Yeah, I don't think it's a Skrull though, because this is the middle chapter to the multiverse saga. It has to be the one for Doctor Strange too.
I mean, WandaVision also
see,
it was a part of the multiverse
I also
saga.
think it would be. a bad move to try and do a scroll deception twice in a row in these movies. That's a big reason.
I see that play. But part of me is like, try it, see what happens.
Like
Yeah, really,
like Skywalker Brian said, the end of WandaVision with Monica and that scroll kind of ties it also in to Secret Invasion and the Marvels, but WandaVision was a multiverse project, part of the multiverse phase.
Yeah. So I mean, obviously, look, I'm just saying it's like there's something up. Okay, any way you slice it, there's something up with Doctor Strange in this movie. It could be bad. It could be Frankenstein editing with the trailer. It could be something, but something feels a little bit off.
Sure, yeah, something's amiss. Plus, I mean, they've done deceptions on us twice already, so that we pretty much expect it. So
yeah, I mean, it's like going back and talking about the multiverse, and you go back to again Too Far From Home, and in the trailer, like, oh, here's from the the Thanos snap, the multiverse opened up. Oh shit! All right, well now they're just dropping the multiverse on us. And even I said, I'm like, I don't know, man. I think that feels kind of fake back then because I'm like, none of this doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. And then you find out that's bullshit. And then you watch Loki. In the second episode of Loki, Sylvie sets off all those bombs, and you're thinking like, oh shit, that's branching the great timeline. And now that's oh my god, is this creating the multiverse? And that was on 6/16, June 16th. So it was like this big, like, oh my god, they did it. And then you find out, no, that's not the case. They were able to revert everything. But at the end of the show, it was a distraction. But at the end of the show, now it's actually branched out. Now it's actually open. So it took 3 hits to get to that point. So yeah, deception, distraction, deflection, all of those things are clearly in their wheelhouse to keep us talking about it. I don't know. I think it's I
could see the second post-credits scene being tied to Doctor Strange. I still believe the main villain of the movie though is Willem Dafoe's Green Goblin. I believe
he's
not going to be the main villain.
I'm telling you, 100% main villain.
No, I'm telling you, I disagree.
No.
Why I disagree. Because there's been nothing with him in it. This is the whole point. Is you cannot have a villain in the trailer has to have a villain. The marketing has to have a villain. You have to see that there's going to be the adversity part of it, right? Like the adversarial aspect of it has to exist. You have to start creating the narrative in people's minds of an epic showdown. That's the whole point.
I was just thinking that it was because if it's Willem Dafoe's Green Goblin from another universe, it's like he doesn't have the connection to this Peter, and there's not enough time to set it up that it would matter. Like, I mean, yeah, he's probably gonna have to fight Green Goblin or
all these characters. Due to the events of the movie and the circumstances of it, he becomes the main villain because he's the one who's going to personally affect Peter in a major way, to where he's the main adversarial force that he has to contend with. Not because of a personal connection per se, but more so just the way that character operates. Right?
I don't think there's. I don't know, man. I don't know. Yeah. Unless they introduce him in the first 10 minutes.
Now, I'm putting.
Who? Okay. Okay. I know that you're a member of Daniel RPK's Patreon.
No, that's not at all. That's not at
all.
Oh
no.
So like, because no, you've pulled that because you've done that before too. You're like, well, I heard that my source, so
that guy gets a lot wrong from what I've seen.
He also is a blackmailer.
Oh, good time.
He tried blackmailing me. He did. He really did. He tried blackmailing me because of Mikey Sutton.
Oh wow!
I'm not, because I don't know. I accused Daniel RPK of stealing a scoop because it came across. I suggested it, and how he makes his money. He got real mad.
I just have a feeling that somewhat like Spider-Man's going to fight a Spider-Man villain, right? I mean, I feel like out of all the members of the Sinister Five, who's really going to take the leadership role?
He's going to fight them, but that doesn't mean that there has to be one that's going to be the lead. I mean, you're like making all kinds of just almost like fanboyish leaps of logic.
No, these are definitely leaps of logic, but I just have a feeling that they are going to, I don't know. It's just a feeling more so than anything else. I'm not saying, I mean, there could be a secret villain too that we don't even know about, right? I mean, that's also...
Yeah, Doctor Strange.
So let me ask you this, because I just watched Venom Let There Be Carnage last week, and I hadn't seen it, and I didn't remember anybody talking about the post-credit scene of that, so I was kind of shocked by that. Do you guys think he's going to be in this?
Wait, oh wow, you missed out on that post-credit discussion? That was all over for a while.
I'm shocked you didn't get that spoiled for you, actually.
Man, good job. No, that's actually really cool.
It's probably had something to do with I didn't care that much about the Venom movie. I mean, I always planned on seeing it, but I was never going to get as excited as I do about a MCU film. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
No,
But, yeah.
I get it. I mean, well, it kind of now is a little bit of an MCU movie.
Right.
You
well,
know,
I mean,
to an
that's what I'm
extent.
saying is that like we've got 5 of the Sinister Sony's not going to give us 5 and then hold out on a 6th. They're not going to do that. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
like,
Well, that's the funny thing, Dane. You have some scoopers out there, well, like our favorite Grace Randolph, saying that no, there's only going to be 5 villains because Sony wants to save the Sinister Six for later. They want to do like their own version, what they're building.
What,
I mean,
with like what, like
excuse me
fucking?
for not really listening to anything Grace Randolph said.
No, I understand. I'm just saying.
Let's see. Yvonne here says, do a bet on who the villain is. I don't want to go that far with it, but you know,
I think Doctor Strange could be revealed to be like something's up with them, like maybe he's Nightmare.
It's
or
because I
Mephisto or
saw
Shooter Wrath, but
it's because I saw that what's it called, that leaked image of the multiversal prison, you know, and it's like you got 5 people, 5 cages,
and the
and then
6th one is for Venom.
And the 6th, why would Venom be there though?
Because Venom has to go back to his world anyway, and he could be a threat. They don't know who Venom is.
They don't know. But Venom is an anti-hero, obviously.
We know that.
Okay, fine.
Know.
But even, well, did you hear Andy Serkis talk about that?
No.
He said that hold on, let me find it, because Brendan Davis actually played it the other day. I was gonna grab it, but I kind of forgot to down.
Now that I'm looking at these posters some more, by the way, I realize why I don't like most of them, and it's because especially on the bottom row, they're and then like that third one on the top, they're all like the same images. Just
it's the exact same images.
You know,
it's very lazy Photoshop, but I don't think
Yep.
I think these are very last minute posters. To be honest, there's not a lot of
like that one on the bottom right. They're like, well, I don't know, let's just put like a portal around his leg or something, whatever.
Yeah, that's a Chinese poster too. It's like, come on, y'all. It's like the second, like the biggest movie market next to us. Put some more effort in, make it dazzling to them, you know.
It's very odd to me that the marketing for this, because again, this is all Sony's doing. It's not this, but as I'm trying to find this here, here are the textless versions of the posters that came out today.
I love the Goblin Doc Ock one.
Not a fan of these, Dane?
No, I'm actually, this is the first time I'm seeing them. They look fucking pretty good.
Oh, okay, because you went like, ugh. I thought, he must.
No, it was more like I'm having a nerdgasm.
Okay.
It's just cool.
Someone said that.
Mainly, it's just cool seeing fucking Power Ranger Green Goblin again.
Someone said that the Goblin looks not intimidating as the 2002 one. I'm like, he looks as intimidating.
He honestly, I don't know if it's the lighting or what, but he looks better to me.
I think someone complained too that Alfred Molina wasn't de-aged, and I'm like, I don't care.
Oh yeah, some people said his face looked a little too rough.
Like,
I mean,
I would get these framed and
face,
I would gladly get these framed and put on my wall. Like, they just look like Jamie Foxx looks menacing.
Yeah,
but that fucking arc reactor though. Look at that arc reactor, and
shit.
Doesn't that look like Whiplash's vest?
Yeah. Oh shit.
Oh yeah, it does.
Like there's been some theories about that's how he became Electro, was that like in an alternate universe, because he's not the same one from Amazing Spider-Man.
Thank God.
But but he ended up working with with Whiplash, and because that arc reactor. I gotta look to see where that arc reactor is from, because it looks like Iron Man.
That looks like the Iron Man 2 one.
Yeah, it looks like Iron Man 2, which would have put it around that same time. So that to me, that is an interesting tie-in, because here's the thing is like these villains have got to find a way to tie into Tom Holland. That's kind of the whole point. So Doc Ock is not going to be a villain this time around. I don't think. Like they're going to fight him once, and he's going to kind of be on their side.
I think Doc Ock is going to end up helping this Peter.
He's going to be like their Hannibal Lecter in Silence of the Lambs.
Kind of. Like, but I just don't see.
That's a good question though. Where the hell is Vulture? Where is the Tom Holland villain?
Whatever happened with Mobius, we don't know yet.
Okay, I kind of have a theory on that. It leads back to that Venom 2 post-credit scene. I think with the Venom verse and the Morbius verse, like the Sony verse, I think Tom Holland is that Spider-Man as well. But instead of the suit that he has in MCU, he has the Raimi suit. Because we see in Morbius that he runs past a Raimi suit Spider-Man has wanted. So I wonder if because Venom as a symbiote recognizes the Tom Holland Spider-Man, he's like that guy. So I wonder if if like in the Venomverse, the Sonyverse, that that Tom Holland is wearing the Raimi suit rather than the Garfield or MCU suit.
Well, but I mean, when Venom recognized Spider-Man in that post-credit scene, like it's not because he's not from, like, he hasn't really done much on Earth other than be on an old lady for a while and then on Eddie Brock. So like I don't think he's encountered. I think what he was doing was recognizing someone from, how he was tapping.
Yeah, like not like that they encountered him, like they saw him in the news or something before, and like they're like, oh, that guy. Like,
see, I thought it had something to do with like, because he was about to show Eddie how he can tap into the Hive collective consciousness thing and look across the universe, and I'm wondering if that includes multiverse as well.
I think that's what it's meant to imply.
Yeah, so that maybe he like just remembered either from that specific symbiote or another one that he's connected to in a different universe knew that Spider-Man. I don't know.
I think it's part
I honestly think at that point you're kind of overthinking it. You got to think simpler.
No, because I mean, I'm working with what they gave us. I'm not even making big leaps. I just watched it the other day, and I was like, it's Eddie laying on the bed, and he's talking to Venom. He's like telling him how he can, he's has all these experiences being connected, and then he's about to show him. But what happens instead is he get transported to another universe, and then right after that, he recognizes Tom Holland Spider-Man on TV. So I feel like it was trying to tell us something.
No, he doesn't recognize him. He says he looks tasty.
No,
he says that guy.
No,
he says
this guy.
That guy.
Yeah, like, but that wasn't. I didn't view that as he knew him. I'm like, oh, this is just like, who is this guy sort of thing. Oh, he looks good. Let's go eat him. I mean, they're obviously going to set up a Venom versus Spider-Man fight before it turns into Maximum Carnage. I just have a feeling, even though Carnage it ended the way it ended, which I still don't understand why you take Venom's probably coolest villain and you do that, but whatever. But I still think they're going to do Maximum Carnage at some point. Like that's what fans really want. But this is the whole thing that with what Andy Serkis said. I found the video clip here. So this is what Brandon Davis was posting on there when talking about this scene and what it could potentially mean. So give this a listen.
These universes are going to somehow collide. Tying them together meant that there's still potential for, they're literally, the portal is not being crossed fully.
What's happening?
They're starting to come through, and I can't stop them.
These universes are going to somehow collide. Tying them together meant that there's still potential for, they're literally, the portal is not being crossed fully.
What's happening?
They're starting to come through, and I can't stop them.
So my question then on this one ultimately becomes, does this mean at this scene in the movie, is that when Venom comes over?
Based on all we have, I would say that's the logical deduction.
Yeah.
But we don't have all of everything in the movie that would.
Well, yeah, that's gonna be the big question, right? Is it gonna be a case of all the villains, like with the snap, all come out of their universe at the exact same time and get teleported at the exact same time, including Venom, or is it more by a one case where it's like they each slowly get pulled in across, like at different points of the movie, right?
Well, yeah, and then my question also is this the climax to the film, or is this earlier in the film?
The Statue of Liberty scene. I think this is the end of the movie.
Well, if they're all coming through, then what does that mean? Because at that point,
I think it means, by then, like, this is near the end of the movie, and by then, like, all the villains are back home, but then, oh snap, like this started happening right when he returns all the villains back, and this is what starts Multiverse of Madness.
Or what
could this tie into WandaVision?
Maybe.
Huh.
Or
also hold on though, because if this is the end of the movie, that kind of casts doubt on what we were saying earlier about Strange being the villain, right? Because he looks like he's legit worried about this, unless in between the convening time we got the real Doctor Strange back, and
that could happen too. What I was gonna say is though, what if this is another like Frankenstein kind of scene where it's like that's not what he's actually saying while he's up there, like they're using dialogue from another scene but intersplicing with this footage.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, at this point, anything could happen. That's kind of the whole interesting factor of it is
this whole trailer
you just don't know. Yeah, it could be fake.
I got a wild card. What if, because Sony probably they know that we're expecting the Sinister Six. What if there's way more villains than that?
You mean like
Sinister 12.
Rhino?
Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, what if just like maybe like 10, 12, like we're expecting 6. Everybody's gonna be like, oh, can't wait to see the Sinister 6, but then like another 6 come out too or some shit. I don't know. That just wild card popped in my head, but probably not.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's going to be, but okay. The thing is though, you also can't have too many villains. You just can't. I mean, you're going to like the Sinister Six is going to be a very hard sell in general because like the Sinister Six is going to almost need like an Avengers style lead up to it.
Which is what I think they're trying to do over with the Sonyverse, kind of. Plus, what they've already done with the Spider movies up until now, right?
Well, I mean, yeah, no, I mean, obviously with Venom and obviously with Morbius and obviously with the upcoming Kraven, that kind of stuff is gonna, they're gonna be leading towards it. But at the same time, you've got like Vulture and you've got Scorpion. Are we gonna get the birth of Scorpion in this movie? I hope so.
We've been waiting for like 4 years at this point. Where the hell is
Scorpion? I think Scorpion will be the villain for Spider-Man 4.
Probably, yeah. I think this one, the post-credit scene might be the start of that. But then at the same time, though, whatever Morbius was supposed to come out first, and obviously whatever happened with Vulture and happened with that whole thing, with that, we don't know where that's going to tie in, and I don't know if the shifting of things is going to cause a problem on the storytelling front. But again, we don't really have much to go on here. It's just all rampant speculation. And I think it's only going to get worse over the course of the next 2 weeks.
Do you think over the course of these next 2 weeks, will there be like some TV spots that show us a lot of stuff that are going to like maybe potentially like, do you think they're going to like post some spoiler TV spots, or do you think it's going to be a third trailer at all? Or do you think like this is
no, we're already in full on peak sellout mode. They don't need another trailer. And honestly, they don't even need TV spots. They don't. They need to stop. That's the whole point, is they need to stop.
Yeah,
like,
I've been avoiding everything since the trailer. I know. I mean, there was like one little clip on Twitter that I saw where Doctor Strange is asking Doc Ock, "Is this your Peter Parker?" I was like, "Nope, don't want to."
Yeah, I saw that too, and then I saw. But did you see the edits for that?
No, no.
The edits for that were pretty funny. It was just different versions of Peter Parker through like the cartoons.
Spider Pig.
Okay, yeah, that's probably pretty funny. I should check that out.
That was pretty good. I really thought that was pretty funny. But they, I just feel like my fear is that they're going to expose too much. But at the same time, you're not going to be able to stop the rampant spoiler leaks that happen now. And then HBarts here with the super chat from a little bit ago. Thank you, buddy. He says here, what I want to know is if they bring Andrew and Toby to the premiere. See, that right there would say everything, but I don't think they will.
Supposedly, what some people are saying is they're going to be very, very selective on what actors show up to the premiere. Like, they're not even for sure if they're going to bring out all the villain actors either, because they are going to be like very protective. Because once the movie premieres in LA, all bets are off unless there's like some kind of really hard embargo, right? Because again, it's like 2 days before the movie comes out. I kind of hope that they have them at, like, I don't know. It's like I want those actors to be there and celebrate that moment and to get to talk to the fans and the press again, just to be able to talk about it, just because we want to hear from them. But you also have to protect your movie at the same time, right? So it's tough, right? I'm not sure how they're going to handle that. Because remember when Shang-Chi came out, Ben Kingsley came out, and we're like, what the hell's Ben Kingsley doing here? And it's like, oh, he's in the movie. Oh, okay. It's like, that makes sense. But it's like, it's kind of a giveaway. He's probably going to be in it,
Yeah. All right. So Rationals here says he sent me the plot leak in an image. I'm not going to put that on screen, dude. Yeah. People out there haven't heard about that yet. I don't want to spoil it for anyone in case it's real. And I don't even know. I've had people send me legitimately easily identifiable fake trailers. And I'm like, this is fake. And they're like, I don't believe you. I'm like, no, it's fake. Literally, that's a shot from like another Spider-Man movie. Yeah. I'm sorry.
That whole, I remember when someone edited the Boss Baby press junket and about him talking about the producer or director Tom, and like how someone edited it together and was like, oh, this is a new behind the scenes.
Yeah, they tried to say it was like a new thing for No Way Home. It's like, come on, guys, stop with
like
that.
I was like, oh my god, look at this, and then we're like, oh nope, he's talking about Tom from Boss Baby.
Yeah, right. Well, oh yeah, so sorry. Sylvie stabbing He Who Remains set it off. The spell is a red herring.
No, I think so Sylvie stabbing He Who Remains starts the multiverse. But what starts the multiverse cracking into the main MCU main timeline is probably the spell.
I mean, or yeah, it could all happen around the same time. I mean, that's gonna be the thing to show like how it all kind of ties together. Because once the sacred, but then again, it all shows you that the sacred timeline pushed it all to that point at the same time. You know, and then that cracks it all wide open, which is why eventually they're going to end up repairing it, obviously, and going from there. But Andrew here says, fun fact. Thank you, by the way, for this. Fun fact: Dalton, Georgia, is the world's carpet capital. Okay, then. Thank you.
I was gonna say, just to address Pickle's comment real quick, I would say even if they, like, let's say hypothetically speaking, if they're in the movie, even if we all kind of figure they're in it, it's still gonna be one of the greatest reveals in movie history. Especially their opening night, just that reaction. Like, even if we kind of know it might happen, because we still don't know for sure yet. Even if it's still gonna be one of the greatest reveals in history. Just being honest, I mean, it's just going to be considered that, no matter what way you look at it, right? Unless they like completely bungle it, it's like not like they don't treat it as a big deal, but they will. So I don't know.
I mean, at this point, the hype train is so completely off the rails.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I think at this point, the hype is so big, even if everybody knows that they're probably in the movie, it's still going to be one of the greatest reveals ever. It's still going to be treated like a huge deal. Like, it's going to still be a big surprise, even if we don't know about it. So, I just want it to come so I can stop caring as much. And it's not that I don't want to. It's not that I'm like, fuck this movie. No. I really, really, really want to see it. The biggest problem is just that I'm like ready to experience it because there's, you know,
Tom Holland and Zendaya are going to be on the Graham Norton show tomorrow.
Okay, that should be pretty funny.
With Henry Cavill, Superman 4.
Superman confirmed in Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And
there we go. Captain Britain, finally a thing. There we go,
Well,
guys.
I mean, you know, Captain Britain is a multiversal type character. That's kind of his thing. So, you know, he's literally designed, like, his point is to, you know, protect the all of the different multiverses and the nexus between them and such. So.
Oh, okay. I have no idea who the character is. I've heard the name before, so that's all. I've heard it tossed around. But then again, when it comes to Henry Cavill, you'll literally hear everything tossed the fuck around about Henry Cavill.
Yeah.
Like, you know, is he going to be the next James Bond? Well, he's starring in this James Bond knockoff story called Argyle. That's a $200 million feature
and
that
I mean,
Apple purchased. You know,
he has a cameo in that, which his cameos supports his spin-off movie that he'll have in that universe.
Wait, what?
Yeah. He's not in it like a lot. Henry Cavill is in Argyle a lot at all.
He's not in Argyle a lot?
Nope.
I thought he was the main character.
No. The main character is someone else. He's not the main character.
Because like Henry Cavill was the first casting announcement for that.
By the way, I just want to mention, you skipped over HBarts of Super Chat earlier.
I did?
Yes.
Which one?
It was a what if question.
I did ask that question. We talked about that. What if they went to the premiere?
No.
What if Mysterio shows up? That would be cool.
Could you imagine the end of the movie? It's Mysterio all along. None of the movie was
Oh my
real.
god. I would punch the wall.
I would stand up and applaud it just because of the balls they would have for that. I would hate it, but I would love it at the same time.
Yeah, hold on. This is the thing. Going back to the Argyle thing, Matthew Vaughn says here in an interview that he described the film as his ode to the 1980 action thrillers like Die Hard and Lethal Weapon. And then when asked about casting Cavill, he says, I needed someone who was born to play Bond, which Henry is, and then nick him before Bond did. He plays a larger-than-life action hero with a wink. It's a very different from Kingsman. So I'm pretty sure that Henry Cavill is playing Argyle, which would mean he's the main character of the movie.
Hold on.
So and it's also principal photography is also begun for that film.
Okay. Maybe I'm missing. Maybe it's someone else I'm missing out on. Then.
Yeah, I don't. And then again here, they're saying Argyle is intended to serve as a start of a franchise consisting of a trilogy of films. So there's a lot there. I'm really excited to see Argyle.
Yeah, me too.
So, Matthew Vaughn pitched Man of Steel 2. Oh yeah, I remember that. I remember that was being talked about for a while. Matthew Vaughn would
Matthew
have
Vaughn
nailed.
and Christopher McQuarrie both have
Yeah.
done it.
I think like Christopher McQuarrie would have done an interesting job, but I think he's really well suited for stuff like Jack Reacher and the Mission Impossible franchise. I don't know if he could have done justice to, let's say, Man of Steel 2, but Matthew Vaughn would have absolutely done justice to that. I mean, especially given how fast he turned around X-Men First Class. Like, you guys heard about that, right? Like, he was brought in and had 11 months to shoot and finish the movie.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
It was like a rush job, basically. He had like no time, really, which
Yeah.
is amazing the movie turned out as well as it did, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, that was a crazy thing about it, was just like, you know, I thought that was nuts, where I still think First Class is like one of the top tier X-Men films, and they nailed it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's why Matthew Vaughn is the shit. I don't give a fuck. I mean, look, Kingsman: The Golden Circle was maybe like my least favorite of his movies.
Definitely.
But if you look at it through the lens of what I believe that he was paying homage to, it makes a little bit more sense. And I say this because the first Kingsman obviously was not mocking, but mimicking, parroting The Gentleman Spy, the classic Connery Bond films. And then the Golden Circle was very much in line with the Roger Moore Bond films, the 70s era Bond films, where it was kind of like more over the top and larger than life villains and things like that, where it didn't take itself as seriously as the Connery stuff. And I think that's where it lost people, because I mean, look at Julianne Moore in the movie. She had like these robotic fucking dogs, like Pedro Pascal had a whip that could cut motherfuckers in half.
Yeah, it was very, very, very campy and over the top on purpose.
Yeah, and it was done on purpose, like Channing Tatum and everything else, and it was like, I thought it worked out well. I mean, it's not like my favorite movie of his. I don't think they should have killed off Merlin or the other chick, in the beginning of that movie.
I just wish when they brought him back, it was better explained and handled, to be honest. I felt like it was kind of a weak explanation because I don't know. It's just a whole thing.
Yeah, I pretty much agree with that. It's like you make a big deal out of killing him in the first movie, and then the second one's like, oh, we just brought him back now. He's fine.
Yeah, he's fine. He's wearing an eye patch.
The girl from the first movie too, which pissed me off. I hated that. She was one of the best characters in that first movie.
I really liked their friendship, and then yeah. but then again, look, she could still be alive. Let's be fair.
They probably will bring her back.
They probably will for the third, because the third movie the third film is going to explain the relation. It's going to further, I guess you could say, evolve their relationship between Colin Firth and Taron Egerton. So I'm excited to see what happens with that. And of course, I cannot wait to see The Kingsman. How long have we been waiting now for that?
It's going to be a really good movie that sadly falls under the radar really bad.
Well, guess when it's coming out? December 22nd.
Oh, the same day The Matrix comes out?
It comes the same day as The Matrix and a week after Spider-Man. Yeah, it's going to get lost in the shuffle.
That poor movie. It's probably going to do really well on digital, though. I bet it does pretty well when it
probably, yeah. And it's a 20th Century Studios release. They should just probably drop that shit to fucking digital. Put it right on fucking streaming.
January at this point.
Might as well. Yeah, it's like it's not going to matter, dude. Not even that. Fucking release that shit on goddamn Valentine's Day, because the first Kingsman movie came out on Valentine's Day 2015. It opened up against 50 Shades of Grey and some animated film. I forget which one it was, and it did pretty well for the time. It did really well. It like the budget was small, and it still pulled in like over 400 million worldwide. And I love that we got it at work. We had it at the drive-in. We all watched it multiple times. The fact that the last joke of the movie is an anal sex joke is fantastic. Yeah, and it pissed off, dude. It pissed off people from the left so much back then. Like
really
some Devin Faraci. You ever heard of that guy? He worked at like Badass Digest before they became Birth Movies Death. He's a real piece of shit. This is a guy that said that Gamergators were worse than ISIS on the same day ISIS released a video of them beheading an American journalist.
Oh, yikes.
And like, still, when told about this, he blocked people. And then he went on to say that Gamergators are worse than plantation owners. They were worse than the KKK. All of this hyperbolic nonsense that was obviously designed to piss people off. But then, because again, oftentimes in these situations, it's a lot of projection. you know? So we find out that he ended up getting drunk at a bar one night, and I guess he digitally inserted on a woman without her consent on the dance floor and then bragged about it.
God.
And then she came out and she outed him during the Me Too stuff. And I mean, this is the thing. This is the thing. Everyone turned on this guy instantaneously. I mean, they fucking nuked him from orbit. He stepped down from being the head of Birth Movie's death. He just kind of went away. And then about a year and some change later, you find out that he's doing like moonlighting copy work for the Alamo Drafthouse because he's good friends with the president of the company who owns Birth Movie's death. And then from there, he was doing copy work for them. It was like low profile stuff. And the backlash from the movie journalism community was so loud that they fucking fired him from that too.
Wow.
And I'm like, like, don't get me wrong. I think I have been within proximity of Devin Faraci at Comic-Con 2016, waiting to go in. I was at the press booth getting my badge. He was there. A bunch of other of the journalists were there, like Donna Dickens and Peter Sciretta and some of those guys. And they're all cliquey with one another, right? But I was like 2 feet from Faraci, and I fucking despise this piece of shit. And I was like, it takes a lot to get me angry, to get me really angry. And seeing him being that close, I was like fist clenched. They were like white knuckling and shit. I'm not a fighter. I'm a fat ass. I'm not a fighter. But like, I got so mad. I just wanted to sock this dude in the fucking face. And I was like thinking about doing it. And what stopped me was just like that moment of like, wait a minute, maybe don't do this because he'd probably beat your ass. And then also you'd go to jail. So I stopped and I just there's a woman next to me and I looked at her. I said, ma'am, have you ever been in a situation where you just wanted to punch somebody in the face because you really fucking hate them, but you need someone to distract you so you don't do it? And she's like, no. I said, well, I'm right there right now. And hi, my name is Matt. And we talked for like 15 minutes and she calmed me down and everything else. And I really appreciate her. Now, I don't know if I would have done anything. If we would have interacted, maybe it would have happened. He didn't really recognize me. But I fucking hate this guy. And like, so there was a bit of that Schadenfreude, when he went down and shit. But then I kind of felt bad for him when like, he's still trying to earn a living. He's not really doing anything and people are going to get him fired once again. It's like, that's one of the problems with cancel culture. It's like, where does it end? And like, can you ever truly, I guess I don't want to say come back from it, but can you ever truly atone for it?
Well, I mean, yeah, I don't think it's good that that the guy might not be able to get a job like in that same field, but at the same time, it doesn't mean that he can't get a job. And so basically what we're talking about is he entitled to continue working in the same field for the rest of his life? Because he can go get a job working in a factory or in a shipping department or a fucking restaurant or whatever. I'm sure nobody's
Sure.
But that would imply that he actually wants to work and do what he probably perceives as jobs that are beneath him because he has that smug aura about him.
Sure, yeah, but I mean, you just said you don't like the guy, and he digitally penetrated a woman. Do we really want to like fight for his right to work in entertainment journalism? Or I mean,
no, I don't know.
No, you're right. But I mean, it's like, I'm not trying to like equate it, but I've had my own shortcomings as a human.
Sure.
Never that. But it's like, and then I'm still trying to struggle with like the rebuilding process, and I'm still trying to figure out where to go with it. And there are people that are trying to cancel me every single fucking day, so it's like, it becomes then that question of, I should say that it's like, not that I have sympathy, but I have empathy.
Yeah, for sure.
And like the older I get, probably the more empathetic I become in these kind of situations, because it's like, you're like, you got to kind of look at it from this broad perspective of like where we find ourselves as a culture and the reality of what it means to be a human living in it, and a lot of people out there, and this is just kind of, when there's a dog pile on Twitter, most of the time it's just people that are just sitting there on their phones. They just want to feel involved.
Yep.
And I said a lot of this back in the day, and it kind of ties into the next subject I want to get into, which is Chud Watch. But, the other day, Gary from Nerdrotic was tweeting out some like MCU bullshit about Hawkeye, saying that it's not good and whatever. And I just said the writing's getting really bad. You know, like maybe you should mix it up a little bit.
Yeah.
And someone today came back and they're like, "Oh, what have you done? What have you written? You just gonna false flag some videos?" And I'm like, "The fuck?" You know, like what does that do? All this guy does.
Yeah, man. I mean, that sucks, and that sucks that you get that kind of shit. But at the same time, you probably know as well as anybody. I mean, this is something I've learned, and with my little tiny ass time and amount of subs and everything, is that it wouldn't matter if it was that or if there was one time you forgot to zip up your pants and it was on video. They would grab whatever they could think of to throw at you, and it just so happens to be that in your
Yeah, no, I know, and I get that, but my point of bringing it up was the follow up conversation the guy had was he apparently had quoted me from like a number of years ago where and I'm paraphrasing even this, but he basically says like these people, and I'm referring to like again the mob online, right? The when it comes to like a lot of the, let's say, the very vocal, you know, the social justice warrior type people that are very vocal but they don't actually ever provide anything, you know. And I said, these are the kind of people that just get really mad about everything and they bitch about it on Twitter while they're sipping on a latte from Starbucks. And that criticism is a very broad one, and it applies to a multitude of ideologies on the internet. And this person kind of threw that back in my face, like implying that either I'm, you know, and I'm like, there's no point in trying to argue that complaining about women and minorities starring in shows is somehow creating something of value that benefits the world. You know what I mean? And like, that's kind of what I'm talking about. What I was trying to get to is like, this is the idea people have is like, a lot of people just screech from behind a keyboard or from behind a touchscreen on the phone, and they never think about the consequences of that pile-on. They never think about the overall consequences of that. And people make mistakes, people fuck up, and obviously there's consequences. But it's just, I feel like with the digital age, it just makes it so it's like, you know, it's like a constant scarlet letter.
Yeah.
And it's as I've said before, and we can always argue the points. I mean, maybe I'll amend it for this particular conversation, but I've said social fascism. I know you disagree, but how about social authoritarianism? Because I do think that it does kind of fall into that line every once in a while.
Well, the reason I disagree with it is that basically there's not an institutional element to it, in the sense that, like, I mean, fascism, authoritarianism, those are things that come from the top down typically. Whereas, like, I mean, you know, there's fascist culture, but without like, you know, a fascist like Trump or people that are willing to be the head of that type of thing, then there's not going to really have any movement. And the same thing with authoritarianism. So it's like, that's the reason it almost just feels like a oxymoron in a way. Like those two things don't work together. But I mean, I get what you're saying. Like it's a problem. I'm glad we're talking about it, because my issue isn't that I'm not saying that there aren't people that get affected by this shit. I'm not saying that it's okay for everybody to dogpile. I don't fucking do it unless it's somebody that I know they're doing harm and they're going to continue doing it. I've seen a pattern of it. You know what I mean? And still, it's not like I'm going after people for little shit. I go after people that there's like a documented record of them, you know, harassing people and shit like that. But I guess for me, it's like when people say that's the problem with cancel culture, it's just such a broad, vague thing that we're not really getting into the details, because like what you think of, it's the same thing as like an SJW or woke in my mind, because people have different ideas of what that means. It's just kind of this vague boogeyman, and it doesn't address the issue, which is, you hit more on it just a second ago, which is like, people don't think about the consequences beyond their thumbs on their phone. And they put, you know what I mean? But I think that speaks to more of like a human problem, in the same way that we throw out our trash and we don't think about where our trash is going, that it's filling up fucking landfills and that's going to smother us all to death one day. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. Like, we're just, it's a very self-absorbed human aspect, where it's all about like, this makes me feel good and makes me comfortable or happy or whatever in this moment. Other than that, I don't care about what the consequences and you know what I mean? So I don't know that it's just strictly like, and then on top of that, when people say the problem with cancel culture, it implies to me, because I'm a problem solver, I like to think, okay, well, how do we solve a problem? Yeah. And then when the problem with cancel culture is like, well, the only thing I can think of is like broad, sweeping, authoritarian responses. You know what I mean? That would just be worse. like the pendulum would swing way back the other way. Like if you say something negative about someone, then you're gonna have your accounts taken from you or have charges filed against you or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think even in like the UK, they're talking about something like that, or Scotland or something. I saw something the other day. It's getting to that point, and I'm not against insulting people. I'm not against criticizing people, and it's not even. Again, I'm all for people criticizing me. If you disagree with a point of mine, please like let me know. We'll talk about it. That's where I look at these things. But I feel like when we talk about like, I don't know. I've just been steeped in it for the years that I've been steeped in it, so I just have this very cynical view of it. But I think again, maybe if we approach more of these problems with empathy and that's why when it comes to the concept of, let's say, and I'm not trying to wax political entirely here, but when people freak out at the term defund the police without understanding what it's really trying to say about putting more money in social work and getting people down there that can actually like manage an issue rather than resort to just like, hey, like,
well, it's also just a really shitty slogan for that purpose,
It's super shitty because it's again, it's weaponized, right? It's 3 words. It's an easy chant to make, and it's also something very easy to criticize. And that again goes to the whole idea that people out there they never really want to think past the surface on a lot of these things. And oftentimes we just look at the headlines and then just go from there. It's a problem. It's a problem. So, not to dwell on that too much because it's a good convo and I love having it. But to tie it into the what I wanted to cover for the last part of the night here, obviously is a little bit of a good old fashioned Chud watch. So
Chud watch.
I feel like such a fucking moron every time I say it.
You need to add like I can do it for you. I can add like a Chud watch.
Yeah, go for it. This is the thing is I'm really terrible at editing, so it's I go for whatever's easiest for me. Also, Saggy Melons is here. Hey, what's going on, Saggy?
Oh shit! I thought I smelled melons.
You did. I came and smelled.
Yeah, you can't smell them from a mile away, so
RJ, you were the last one to talk. Your friggin' underballs smell disgusting.
Oh, god damn it!
Wash your nuts.
You gotta clean that scrum.
That's
son.
getting clipped. Okay.
What the fuck?
I mean, that would imply that you know what? I'm not even gonna say it. Never mind. Let's get a Chud watch.
Chud watch. What are we Chud watching?
What are you like? Hold on here. Like, Saggy, how do you know what his nuts smell like?
Have you not sat next to RJ?
I haven't because I live on the West Coast.
Yeah, you sit next to him, you'll know what I mean.
You mean like that weird, like a homeless guy on the train that you're like, that smell is him.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. RJ's the homeless man with
I bathe
sticky
every
nuts.
day, but thank you.
You bathe in what?
Bathe in what? Garbage? Hot garbage?
Hot garbage.
Hot garbage. RJ probably smells
It's
very
a
nice.
certain soap, hot garbage. It's the new soap that we all use.
So what happened?
Okay. Anyway, enough about RJ's nuts.
Yeah, let's get
no. I look. I live for the day RJ DMs me and he's like, they were played with, and I'm like, yes, my man, man.
I don't think RJ would ever tell anyone.
I think RJ would be gloating like a motherfucker, dude. He would grab a bell and he would just be ringing that shit like the fucking town crier. Ding dong, ding dong.
I
just
RJ,
had sex. And it felt so good. So good.
You know
a woman let me put my penis inside of her.
No, this is important because this is how you'll know. You'll know RJ got laid when he comes on the stream and he's like, "Yo, what up, guys?" All deep voiced and everything, like he just became a man all of a sudden. Sound like Barry White. What's up?
True.
Now you know why my voice is so deep.
He's gonna be like, "Shut up, Jarbo. This is my show tonight."
Right, dude. He's gonna take over. You're my bitch.
I'm taking over your channel now.
Come on in there, sound like fucking Barry White. Like,
No,
yeah, sure, all right,
I'll
man.
just come in. You want to talk about some real after dark shit?
Yeah, Jarbo will be like, "Hey, I recognize an alpha whenever I hear one. All right, I'm sorry. I'll get out of the way."
Oh my god.
him.
That's
He's been broken for so long.
I'm
RJ.
taking credit for that. I'm taking credit for breaking that.
Good. Break him some
that
more.
was.
That's what I said as I went.
RJ, I
balls
want to
deep.
see your search history, and I'm gonna think about it.
Oh.
Anyways, it's not my fault. It's either RJ, Zane's, or Saggy's.
RJ has some Fuda.
No, I
Furry
could
porn.
just imagine like RJ coming in school like, y'all want to smell my finger?
Oh my god. He's like, I didn't wash it. I didn't wash my hands.
Hey, no, I mean he'd be one of those dudes
No,
that
I
like,
was
doesn't even
trying-
ask you. He'll just like run his finger under your nose real quick.
Yeah,
like,
be like,
oh,
Ugh.
Oh my god.
I hate
Dude,
Why
I
is my
had a
fish?
friend do that once.
yeah, me too.
so gross when dudes do that.
No,
You're gonna smell
no,
my
but it wasn't.
finger.
It wasn't what you think. What it was is
Oh,
we were hanging out. We were hanging out with some friends in the back of a truck,
Oh,
and they were gonna
no.
go. They were gonna go to swimming or whatever, and this girl was there in her bathing suit, and she had just did like a like a car change, and had her clothes right there, and then my friend had accidentally put his hand on the no, that's what he told me. I don't know if that's true or not, but he put his hand on her underwear accidentally, and then like his hand smelled, so like he couldn't go wash it because of where we were. And so it wasn't until later that we were going away in the car, and he just like, hey dude, smell my finger. And I'm like, what the fuck? Oh my God. It smelled terrible. And I'm like, what's going on? And he's like, man, like I accidentally touched your underwear, and then my finger's been smelling like this like the last hour. And I'm like, no, you gotta smell it too.
Wait, why would a girl's underwear leave a stink like that though?
Oh,
I
God.
don't know.
Why is it?
I don't
Saggy,
know.
Saggy, explain it to us, please.
What? Wait, hold on, what? Wait, what do you want me to explain? I'll explain it. What?
No, I'm kidding.
No, what? No, I want to
Explain vaginal discharge and why it has the smell that it does
Yeah.
for science.
Science.
It could be many reasons. Either the girl did not clean that day,
interesting.
or she's just been hot and sweaty, and
Ah.
just it happens.
Okay.
Listen, a woman can't be so fresh and so clean 24/7.
So fresh, so clean.
Like how guys get ball sweat and it smells. Like that's just women have that thing too.
That's never happened to me. I don't.
Bullshit.
That's
Bullshit.
why you get
Every
that's
guy
why you
has
get that
sweaty
spray
balls.
deodorant.
No, women aren't supposed
Axe?
to use stuff down there.
Not well, you can
Axe.
get-
Well, even guys
Both
aren't
sides.
either. You know, I mean, don't ever spray CK1 on your nuts.
No,
I mean,
you're not.
listen,
you're
I
not
learned that
supposed
the
to-
hard
listen,
way.
listen,
You're not
listen.
supposed to
What?
put anything down there. It's not.
Eventually, Jarbo's gonna get sponsored by Manscaped, and he can promote his ball deodorant.
By the way, can I do?
I'm purposefully growing out my he beard
I just
in
wanna
order
say
to like get that particular sponsorship.
I have a product recommendation. This is not a paid promotion, but guys, let me tell you, there's this product up there. It's called V-Poo, and you spray it in your toilet water before you poop, and you don't
Poopery. Poopery.
Yes, it's like
You know
poopery.
what?
It's
Here,
amazing.
hold on. Here's all that is. It's vanilla extract.
Yeah.
Just go get vanilla extract. Drop a couple drops in your toilet bowl before you take a shit.
Yeah, but they
and
have
just
like other.
And just pray to God that it doesn't creep out like fucking Jaws.
But they have other sets like lavender and baby powder stuff. It's amazing. It's good. It's the godsend. Listen, for
what
you
would be the
public
point of
research
doing
kids.
that with your toilet? I don't understand.
So
What it
so
just
helps
it coats
minimize
the
stink?
water. Yeah, it coats the water. It keeps the smell trapped underneath.
Oh.
Yeah, it keeps
Yeah.
the smell, and it's actually pretty.
There's
amazing.
a whole market out there for like, poop accessories. I
Yeah.
got a squatty potty.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's a godsend.
love it.
Let me tell
So
you,
so
it's
how
best
long
thing.
do you guys?
Oh, I
think
do
it-
too.
How long do you
Squatty
guys think
potty
it's going to be before we adopt the Japanese toilets where they spray water up your butt?
A bidet? We
bidet?
need to.
We
We
already have
absolutely
bidets.
need
rules.
to.
A lot of people already are. Like basically, it's
Yeah.
more of a matter of class at this point in the U.S. Like upper class.
You
folks
can
tend
get
to
a
have-
bidet at a decent price.
Yeah,
though.
Yeah,
you can get them. Like you can get the little
But we want the
strap-on
luxury
version,
ones,
but
Sag.
like
We want the luxury ones.
to actually get one that is with the part of the toilet, like it's made with the toilet. You can get the one where you,
You
like
don't
put it
need
on
that,
there.
Though.
I
You
was
can get,
I
you
I
can
forget
get-
what hotel I was in, but like literally the toilet and the bidet right next to each other, and I actually sat on the bidet.
Yeah, when we moved to San Diego, the house we bought, it had a toilet and a bidet, and my parent in the master bedroom bathroom, right? And my parents were like, I don't know how to use this shit. And I'm not even kidding you. It just ended up being like a storage unit for like toilet paper. It just
Dude,
never got
bidets-
turned on because they were confused by the process.
But days are amazing. When I had my gallbladder taken out, I couldn't use the bathroom forever, and then when I finally did, it was awful. So having a bidet that I was able to use was a godsend. Bidets
See,
are great.
I was
I've
like,
never
why-
used a
why is there
bidet, but I
and a drain right next to it, like a drain on the floor. Why is there a toilet with a drain on the floor? I'm like, okay, and I'm like, oh my god, what is this?
I feel like the drain on the floor was there because it probably used to be like one of those showers, and they just didn't remove the drain. Like it used to be a shower, they probably just rearranged the toilet in the shower.
I don't know, but I
Jesus
was
Christ.
like,
all right.
Chud watch.
All right.
Sorry.
I know.
Let me there's a
Water
couple
Talk
super
Radio.
chats to get to real quick that I'd missed. So we'll get to those. And then we'll get to this. All right, HBarts here asking if all 3 Super Spider-Man appear, you think one will die? I love Toby, but I would not mind him dying. Well, here's the thing. If Tobey Maguire dies in the new Spider-Man movie, I would hate to be the audience members in a couple of those theaters.
Listen,
my
if Tobey
God.
Maguire dies,
Because-
we all know
Oh
a
my
certain
God.
person who we love to death, but he's gonna have to be on a watch.
Well,
He's gonna be
hold
on a
on, hold on,
watch. We need to do
hold on.
wellness checks on him.
What happens? What happens if like one of the Spider-Man does appear, but it's like not the other? Like, what if Andrew Garfield comes back, but Tobey Maguire does not?
That'd be
That would be the
hilarious.
dumbest thing. That would be so dumb.
I'm just saying, it's a possibility.
RJ, Toby gonna die. And then Andrew here asking the question about the Kingsmen further evolve. What are they going to do? Bone? It's like a father-son relationship, man. I mean, it's entirely possible they could bone, but I don't think we're going to get that far into the incest category of a knockoff of a spy thriller. So, no. Anyway, okay, that was. Is there any more here? Okay, Andrew, another $2 here. So RJ always shows up on the stream smoking a pipe. When you get laid, if you show up
it's gonna
smoking
be
a pipe,
cigar, dude. It's gonna be a cigar, not a pipe. I'm gonna go. For
pulling some of those Clinton vibes. All right, I feel you. I feel you.
Would come on
Pull
here,
a
just like
Ron Swanson.
inhaling the cigar smoke like a dumbass.
People would Ron Swanson.
Why are you inhaling it? Because I got laid. No, you're not supposed to inhale the cigar, RJ. What the fuck?
Oh my
Smell my
God.
finger.
Talk about instant cancer.
Right.
Okay.
If the cancer's gonna get you.
Oh my God.
All
I'm
right.
actually, when I show up, it's not gonna end up.
There we go. Yeah, Degrassi here says smoking jacket and an ascot.
I'd punch him.
I just show up looking like Fred from Scooby Doo.
I would punch you in the throat. I would literally punch your Adam's apple down into your throat for you to swallow it. If you
What?
ever showed up on a stream with a friggin' ascot on, I'd punch your friggin' teeth down your throat.
Don't listen to her. Don't listen to her. You want to show up with that ascot. You want to do it. It'd be great.
No,
Hey,
Jarbo just wants to see me punch your teeth down your throat.
Hey, some women find ascots attractive. You know
Who
what I mean?
in 2021 finds a friggin' ascot attractive? That is the most lamest. I would literally I'd friggin' give you one of those things where you put somebody's friggin' head in the toilet.
A swirly?
Yes, I would give you a swirly if I ever seen you do that.
But I mean,
Okay.
like, there are people out there who do like ascots.
Yeah.
I don't
and
know
they
any
look
of them
like
personally,
ass.
but they exist.
Your ass.
What? People are into some weird shit. Don't kink shame.
Yes,
Saggy.
I know they are. That's why I want to see your search history.
You've already
Oh my
seen part of
God.
my search history. all right?
Exactly. I want to see more of it. There's probably some stuff you haven't shown.
Of course. You think I'm gonna
feel
like
like-
be
I feel
100% on that? Hell
I
no.
feel like
I'm
Jarbo
selective a fuck on that shit.
Jarbo has 100% looked up Matt Jarbo mundane Matt porn. I guarantee it.
We've done it on this
Yeah.
stream.
We've done it on stream before.
See? So I wasn't wrong.
So it's like you're arguing something that is kind of like we've done before. Like, I bet he's
But
gonna
I
do
wa-
this. Yeah, I've already done it.
Exactly. I wasn't wrong.
Google mundane Matt rule 34, and you will find an image of someone who was very generous with my nether regions. So thank
Hell
you.
You're welcome.
Oh
That
my
it
God.
was meant to be insulting, but I'm just like, all right.
Did he give you a chud?
No, but really hairless. I was surprised. I'm all like, I'm kind of French Canadian, so we furry beasts.
Yeah. What
But,
is this video we're about to watch?
Anyway,
Chud watch.
Chud watch. 20 minutes later, Chud watch.
Yeah, well, we had to get through LARPing over RJ having sex, and as a palate cleanser, folks, as a palate cleanser.
Wow.
Yes.
So this is the Midnight's Edge video, talking about behind the Kennedy renewal and the Patty Jenkins removal.
Oh God.
And I just wanted to see because again, this is where they bring up Cameron Pasha, and I just kind of want to see how they spin it to be something that is clearly not, which is
Why
factual.
do I always come in when you're about to go over a Midnight Edge video?
Look, it's 18 minutes long. I ain't gonna go over the whole goddamn thing
All right, I'm
because it's already almost midnight out here. But it's we'll see where it goes. We'll see where it goes. Boring.
Kennedy's contract
There we
as
go.
head of Lucasfilm has reportedly been extended. For viewers of this channel, this should come as no surprise. We've been saying for years that she would be staying until the end of her contract. And as early on August 21st, we were the very first outlet to report Mikey Sutton of Geekosity's Fame's exclusive scoop that a renewal of that contract was on the cards.
By the way,
not true. You
that's
did.
not true. That happened on this channel with Mikey Sutton himself. And they're not the only ones who have claimed. No. I think other people have claimed exclusivity on that as well. They never mentioned me. But apparently, according to someone who I won't name, if I mention them, particularly a bald baby back beta bitch by the name of Tom Connor, he get real salty. He get real sad, from what I hear. So
Yeah. Was this like a new guy doing the voiceover? This is
it is. They basically So Rob was the guy who did their old voiceovers.
Well, sometimes Andre too.
Andre will do it sometimes, but it was Rob doing it for the longest time. They ended up not firing Rob, from my understanding, but they just stopped talking to him. So
Firing?
yeah, basically. But it's like they just stopped talking to him because he backed his girlfriend, Mecha Random 42, who is an abhorrently terrible individual. Are you familiar with her at all, Dane? Have you ever watched?
Yeah. I mean, I've actually, she's on my list of people to cover at some point. I'll look at it every once in a while. I'll be like,
Don't waste your time. She's not even worth.
No,
the
she's
brain
at this
cells
point.
lost.
She got canceled out of the Fandom Menace, and it's just been bad for her ever
Her
since.
She's not worth. She's not worth losing brain cells.
Yeah,
over,
her
trust
online
me.
career is basically imploded. She has no.
She's like
relevance anymore.
60,000 subscribers, and she can barely keep like 20 people, like 10 people in her friggin' chat. She's a wrap.
So yeah, but anyway, so Rob and her are dating, and I get, listen, God love him. All right, that's what I'll say about that. God love him for having the patience.
I don't
Man.
know Rob, so I can't speak on that. But yeah, she
I
looks
like
her.
Rob. I do like Rob. I still talk to him occasionally. I like Rob. So and I but ever since they fired him and whatever, I've been like, I've been mad. I'm mad on Rob's behalf. Because he was there.
Why?
He helped build it up. He helped build up Midnight's
Right,
Edge, and
but
because
you can't-
Gary
can't-
comes down and says get rid of Mecha Random and whatnot, the guy
Right.
defends his girl and gets
I
heated.
mean, look, you can't sit here and be like Mecha Random's crazy. She's a problem, and you all agree she's kind of deserved that outcasting. But like, obviously, like you said, he's gonna stand by his woman. So I mean,
I'm just saying collateral damage is a real thing.
but when you're in a relationship and you're trying to distance yourself from the person's partner, it makes things awkward for everybody involved.
Yeah, that's why
So
you never date
listen.
anyone that you fucking work with.
I mean, that's also true, but you can't be like, oh, poor Rob. It's like he could have just said, all right, bitch, I'm peacing out because, my friends, and I'm tired of you whooping my ass.
He could have done a whole wide variety of things, but I mean, I support him for backing his woman. I do. I support him on that one.
Hey, power to you. Listen,
I don't
stand by
like
your
his woman, but I'll support him for making that. But I feel bad that it's like it got to that point for him, that he that choice had to, had to be made and sort of whatever. It's just, I mean, it's just like, it's empathy. I'm an empathetic person. Ever since having kids, I've been far more empathetic.
Yeah, I feel
Oh,
that.
yeah.
I'm just like,
I
man,
don't think you've been.
what?
What?
Not on
Oh.
everybody.
I was gonna say, are you serious?
I mean, like, not on everybody. Certain people, are like assholes and stuff.
I'm sure you'll make up with some people down the line eventually. I have faith in you.
I have faith that one day I shall burn it all down.
That too. I have
Oh,
faith it's
my
either going to be you're going to make peace with everyone, you're going to literally burn the earth, scorch it.
Listen, I'll go full Planet of the Apes 2 on their ass.
You're going to turn us all into monkeys?
No, what? No, you never saw Beneath the Planet of the Apes?
The only Planet of the Apes movie I recall seeing is the new one with friggin' James
yeah,
Franco.
that doesn't
So
surprise me.
are you saying that you and your psychic friends are gonna explode a nuclear missile that's in the ground that will blow up the Earth? What are you saying?
Yes.
Okay, just 'cause that's what that movie's about.
Yeah, I know, right? Like, what the fuck? That fucking movie, so goddamn weird.
Yeah.
So goddamn weird.
And that's the second one. They just like this gonna fucking take it in the weirdest direction. Right.
By
off
the way,
bat.
I just want to say this is the most you've officially beaten Mad Max's record for stopping a clip 44 seconds.
Yeah,
in.
I know we have.
I'm pretty bad about it myself on my streams, but yeah. All right, I'm shutting up. I'm gonna mute myself.
Okay.
Let's do
Here
it.
we go. And then also Andrew here says RJ all of a sudden has a pipe, ascot, smoking jacket, and suddenly speaks like Fraser Crane.
What?
If you when you get laid, RJ.
No, I don't. I don't get the reference.
Oh, it's just you're going to be a refined man. Is what it's going to be.
Okay.
You're going to be refined and you're going to be sophisticated, and you're going to still tell people to smell your finger.
I like to say I'm sophisticated as I already am, so I don't know.
Well, look. You know what? I'm just saying Vegas should be a lot of fun for you. So.
Oh God, yeah.
I'm hoping. I'm pulling for you, RJ. Can we crowdfund a trip for RJ when he's out there? Can we crowdfund that?
No. He'll spend it on video games and friggin' consoles. No.
No, I wouldn't.
Yes, you would. Shut up.
If we crowdfunded like a give send go, we couldn't do GoFundMe because they would clearly cancel it. But if we did a give send go to get RJ, you know.
I would.
I don't even want to say because I feel like we're going too far with the joke. I feel like I'm not trying to shame you or embarrass you, RJ. We're just having fun.
I am.
But it's like I feel bad now. I feel bad. I feel like we're going too far. Let's get back into this.
You're fine.
All right.
And now, almost 3 months later, there are indications to suggest that Sutton's scoop indeed may have come to pass. Note the emphasis on may have, though, for at the time of the making of this video, none of the trades are confirming it. Regardless, we will in this video begin by going through the other piece of Star Wars news, namely Patty Jenkins' Rogue Squadron being pushed back indefinitely, before breaking down the Kathleen Kennedy situation and what a renewal might entail. Not to get too far ahead of ourselves, but we've already seen numerous people throw their hands up in disbelief and declare that if Kathleen Kennedy stays, they'll walk away. Not just from Star Wars, but all things Disney, including Marvel. Because why keep supporting a company that is so hostile to consumers with your hard-earned cash?
Wait. Okay.
What?
Like,
Who's really talking like that though?
yeah. I haven't heard anyone say that. That's a rational individual.
You notice how it's just, I mean, it's the same exact thing as Doomcock, except they're just much more like low key about it. Like where he's like starting off on pretty factual information and then just like really quick, just nosedives into, well, you know, everybody knows this is bullshit garbage and everybody fucking hates it. Right. You know, kind of thing. It's deceptive.
Well, and they also
I like the video like the video itself. I kind of like the transition of the things up on the screen. It's beautiful.
well, they do some editing.
Yeah.
The editing's pretty nice. It's not
It's
bad.
not it's not that difficult to like, you know, create visual assets and then make them do things.
Yeah, I didn't start editing until I started making videos, and my shit looks pretty great. So
The editing really helps with whatever the heck is being talked about. I don't
well,
do Star Wars.
it's also the music. They have a good selection of music. Like when they do their traditional like Midnight's Edge kind of like grungy techno sort of thing, it makes it feel like it makes it feel like you're getting something like it's a little bit on the, I don't want to say taboo, but it's something that feels kind of like you're getting something on the edges of something, you know. And it's good. I'm not gonna knock it. Like I really like the soundtrack. I always have. And then also kind of put on top of that Andre's voice, because he's Norwegian, I think. And so it's for the American audience. Again, you can tell someone anything as long as you tell it to them in an accent.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I've ever heard Andre. I don't think I've ever really heard Andre.
Yeah, he's the one who says "come on." You know, he's all like.
You know what the music sounds like? It reminds me of like in those Now This video clips that you see on Facebook or something. Like that's the kind of music that's
maybe they took it from the same audio drop place. They're like, all right, we found it. You know, Sam here says sounds like a Tom Waits theme. Maybe. Either way, like I could make this whole video in fucking PowerPoint and never once touch an editor. So that's
your PowerPoint.
Because PowerPoint is powerful, baby.
Such a businessman. It's weird.
Thank you.
I'm gonna make a video on PowerPoint.
I'm gonna give you a full-on PowerPoint presentation explaining it to
really saggy. That just means he's fucking old. That he knows
really
learned how to
fuck
do
that.
everything
No,
with PowerPoint.
fuck that. It ain't that I'm old. It's just that I'm efficient.
Okay.
All right. It's like, I'll put it to you guys like this. Like if I'm going to do, and I've done this live too, like I could use OBS to stream and I could create a PowerPoint presentation complete with transitions and have it also chroma and then run it all together. And as I'm talking, I can just hit the next arrow key and have the transitions happen in real time. So it just gives it an air of professionalism that I can just have all this ready to go and just it with literally one button press, keep moving into the next thing. I mean, it's a very simple process, but it looks good. Oh, shut the fuck up. You're the one who brought up editing. You're the one who brought up editing.
I'm sorry. I regret that now.
Yeah, thank you.
So
Thank
sorry.
you. Yeah, we only got another fucking 30 seconds in for you. Kid. Fucking edit. Jesus Christ.
And loads of people are planning on canceling their Disney Plus subscriptions over this and take to the high seas
they're
instead.
No,
What?
they're not.
No, they're not.
What is that video?
I do have to also
Citation
disagree.
needed, dude.
What
God
is that
damn.
video?
What is this video? Yeah, what is this?
They've used this before. This is I've seen this before somewhere. I forget where.
Looks like Disney.
Who exactly is looking to like sail to the high seas? You know, for all this, that's I really want to.
Well, here's the thing, right? Weren't all of these people saying that they should do this when Gina Carano was fired? Like, we need to sail the high seas. We need to hurt him in the wallet. But now it's like, well, we're all waiting until Kathleen Kennedy is confirmed to not be fired. It's like, what?
See, here's the thing. They aren't like I kind of agree with that. When you're upset about a company making a decision you don't like, yeah, stop, cancel your subscription and take your money elsewhere. But at the same time, like I have to disagree with this point because we all know that the same people who were screeching to cancel Disney Plus were the same ones going over reviewing WandaVision when it first came out. So it's kind of like no one's going to cancel, especially YouTubers who cover this stuff because their whole job is to review these things and give their takes on it. They have to watch it. So no one's going to cancel anything because they need something to talk about.
It's the exact same thing, as Comicsgate constantly for years now saying that, comics are Ethan Van Sciver's been convincing people that DC's about to stop printing comics for like a year and a half now, and they still believe it. It's the same kind of thing. You constantly keep them feeding them what they want to hear, basically, but like not completely. Like you don't tell them that they're absolutely gonna, they're gonna stop selling all their comics and stuff tomorrow. But you're like, oh, it's getting close. It's getting close. You're basically edging them. Oh, that's what Midnight's Edge means. They're edging their audience. Okay.
That's
maybe they
oh,
just got a
dude.
good edge job. Their hairline is all edged up.
No. You totally just lost out on what he was saying there.
I did. I was trying to make a joke and it just did not land.
No, it was like he has a joke, and then you were like, "Hi guys, I'm on another continent."
Listen, I tried to piggyback. It didn't work.
Well,
it bombed. Like
Yeah,
I'm gonna
you
say,
need to watch more porn, Saggy, and like get all the different terms down, and you'll be on.
Will
be
you
a
watch
man,
with me,
Saggy.
Dane?
Be a man.
Of course.
Okay, so me and Dan got a date tonight after the stream. We're gonna watch porn together, so we can educate me on edging.
Fuck yeah.
Oh my god.
God forbid anyone who watches this fucking replay. You know what? There's 106 of you here right now. So smash a like if you're having fun, and if you're watching this on a replay, God have mercy on all of our souls.
But this is something neither Midnight's Edge, our sponsors, nor any other affiliates condones. Not only is piracy wrong, but you'd be exposing yourselves to endless spyware.
Oh right, it's an ad.
Oh,
PSA,
what that
That's-
look at that transition.
It's a PSA,
I mean, that's
love it.
pretty masterful. I'll give
That
him
is a
credit.
real,
on-
yeah. That's like almost as good as Legal Eagle and his fucking ad transitions. That dude's
I
good.
like that though.
That's solid. That's
There
actually
is an art to it.
yeah. I'm just gonna skip ahead though. Get past
Davey
fucking
Croc.
Nord.
Surfshark VPN.
Was it Surfshark?
Midnight's Edge.
Oh my god. Dane. Oh my god.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Someone clip that. Someone clip that.
With the whole Patty Jenkins situation. In December of 2020, Kathleen Kennedy proudly announced that Lucasfilm would be releasing Rogue Squadron 2 years later, in December of 2023. Patty Jenkins would write and direct.
It was 3 years later, just to quickly kind of point that out.
Okay.
You know, so if the basic facts are already wrong.
Oh my god.
I just want to say Gal is
They
still very
they can't
attractive.
even get one thing right.
I know.
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah, she's got that going for her. Gal does.
Yeah, well, I'll take it.
Would make her the first female director to helm a Star Wars movie. The news was met with much excitement because Patty Jenkins was perceived as a great filmmaker who could do no wrong. But again, note the emphasis on was perceived in the past tense, for that perception ended just 2 weeks after the Rogue Squadron announcement took place.
Wait.
That's when the world got to see Wonder Woman.
I'm sorry, but like just the vagueness of these things that he says, like she was perceived by whom, and then it suddenly ended 2 weeks at like by whom? Who, you know what I mean? Like these are just such vague nonsense.
It is. I mean, so the context on that, a lot of it is the Wonder Woman 2017 was you know, it made a lot of money and it was heralded as a good movie. You know, and then Wonder Woman 84 was not.
Right.
You know, and that's kind of more or less what he's trying to say without saying it. I think it's like that moment of in this space, it's like in your mind, you're going to make those assumptions yourself, or you're going to come to those conclusion points yourself.
You're gonna edge it out yourself.
Okay.
Yeah, you'll edge it out. Yeah.
I think it's I think I'm more forgiving when it comes to entertainment, especially with like people who work on movies. Like they'll make a couple good movies, they might make a couple bad ones. I think that I think as viewers, sometimes I feel like we forget, like, well, what about all the good movies they made? Well, this one's really bad. That person's always like, yeah, they made one bad movie. That doesn't mean the rest of the stuff they're going to come out with is going to be bad. Take it as a lesson learned. You know, they put out these movies. It's feedback. If the movie doesn't do well, the feedback, they do another movie and they don't do the mistakes they made in the last one. So it's
and
like,
think about what this channel covers nonstop all the time, right? Is the interplay between creators and studios and so on. So like anybody that's watching this theoretically should understand that, you know, Patty Jenkins is not solely to blame for what happened with Wonder Woman 1984.
Oh my god.
Well, okay.
Future Matt Turbo.
Like, wait, what?
Future Matt Turbo.
Oh,
Sent a super chat.
oh, RJ became a conservative after having sex.
I highly doubt that.
Yikes.
I don't-
I became a
RJ.
woman after having sex.
I don't think he'd become a conservative. I look, I'm just gonna be honest with you. All right, like chunky dudes, they give it up. They love to eat. So you know what I mean? Like they can be very giving.
So he's a hero.
He's a hero. RJ's a hero.
Anyway.
Hey, listen, I love a good meal, so you know.
You like to die for oysters, RJ? You like to?
You know, I haven't tried it before, but I'm willing to. So.
Whoa. Ladies,
Saggy's
he's
all like,
available.
so you gonna come to Boston anytime soon?
That's why he wants me to go to Vegas so bad.
Oh, Jess says here, I missed your free chat. I'm sorry. It doesn't tell me on here. All right, Jess here says your name is treated like saying Bloody Mary 3 times. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, I know. My name is treated like they are Beetlejuice, something like that. Thank you, buddy. But the Wonder Woman 84 thing, just to quickly touch upon that, she had full control over the script and full creative control over the film itself, and it still turned out the way that it did. So there's a lot there that she can take blame on for this, because the studio basically just like handed her the reins and said, go with it. Because she negotiated for a much higher payday for Wonder Woman 1984 after the success of Wonder Woman 2017.
Okay, I gotcha. All right.
So there were problems with the movie that were like irredeemable in regards to narrative.
It was her fault.
But I'm saying like it's her and Jeff Johns, and it's like, but she was at the head of everything. You know, it'd be like if Zack Snyder did the 2017 Justice League, you know, and he had full control and that's still what came out, it would be like, you know, like, oh, okay. Like maybe
Okay,
just-
it's you're the problem.
yeah, maybe okay, like you're kind of the issue here. But again, even with this Rogue Squadron thing, wasn't it like they say that they weren't able to like get the stories essentially. I mean, I think that's a nice kind of get out of jail free card.
So basically, what you're saying is, in a nutshell, when she was part of the first movie that was well done, it wasn't just all her. She had other hands of the cookie jar, but
Well,
this one, she was just her. And see, I think that's also, this might be a hot take to say, but I think that's also a good thing because it lets, I guess, us and the entertainment industry know, like, who has that potential to make a hit movie and who doesn't. So it kind of leaves out, it kind of hurt, you know.
Well, it's I mean, that's you know, look, the thing is like you're only as good as your last project.
Yeah,
it's also measures of movies are a collaborative effort across the board.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, it's not all her.
I think one great director make a great movie.
I think if she had other people involved with Wonder Woman 84, it probably would have been just as good as the last one. But yeah, that makes sense.
Well, I mean, look, and I'll say this since it's been a hot take. It's like, you know, look how good the Snyder Cut was compared to Army of the Dead. Right? Army of the you know, they're non-comparable in my opinion. The Snyder Cut was
Army of the Dead.
I'm not saying it was bad. I'm just saying that it wasn't as good.
I had a lot of I actually have been over backwards to defend Zack Snyder a lot of times, and it's hard to do with Army of the Dead in some ways.
It is. It is.
I think I love the Dead series. I think that people are
well, this has nothing to do with the Dead series.
Yeah,
this
I know, but it's like there's another topic for another time. We won't get to your
No, but I mean, like, but the thing is, like, I have issue with, like, for example, on Army of the Dead, the Dream Lens. I think it's the overuse of that particular lens took me entirely out of the movie.
Yeah. But they saw a rumor of him using a more saturated lens for Rebel Moon. I'm like, oh, please, no. Nope.
I don't know. I mean, look, he's getting into digital filmmaking, so we'll see what happens with it. But I mean, I enjoyed the movie itself, but I had issues with it. But with the Snyder Cut to me came across as outside of a couple little things, it was pretty damn good all the way through.
I love it.
So it's like, you know, I mean, not everyone's going to nail it out of the park on every little thing. But it also depends on who you surround yourself with. Zach, this is kind of the problem with Netflix, right? Netflix gives people the creativity to go balls to the wall, whatever they want, pretty much full creative control. And oftentimes it doesn't work out in the way that they want. Look at, for example, Michael Bay, Six Underground, a terrible movie, you know, and like that's complete Michael Bay Unchained with Ryan Reynolds starring in it.
It should have been a TV series.
It should have been a TV. Exactly. You know, look at, let's say, Red Notice. That movie is fun, but it's forgettable as all hell. And there's not even a fucking villain in the movie. So it's like, you know, there's nothing to really kind of sink your teeth into, really. So, and that apparently is Netflix's most watched movie ever.
I mean, I liked Army of Thieves, and I originally thought Army of Thieves was going to be kind of lame, considering it was focused on a character that we know is pretty much gone at this point and won't be coming back. So why make a movie, right? Like, I'm pretty sure he's gone. But like, why, you know, making a movie based on a character that we've already seen, and I mean, I liked him, but like, did I like him enough? And then taking that risk of making an entire movie based on that character.
That movie was like way better than Army of the Dead to me.
I honestly can say I kind of do agree. I did like that movie because it was really creative.
I haven't watched it yet, but I need to. Okay, and then here, real quick here.
What noise?
It's Caden. He types loud.
You do too sometimes, but not that. Oh my Lord.
I try to watch. I have a mechanical keyboard, so I try to be aware of that. And then Andrew here for $2 says, RJ bags a Fox News girl.
Hey, you know what? Some of them are very good looking. You know,
I mean, they all look exactly the same.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, you know,
if you like, dumb looking blondes, then you're in luck.
You know,
I do.
Sometimes you have to settle. You know, and You know, and
Look,
and,
I'll
you
say,
know,
I will say
at
this.
least they could put their mouths to better use than spouting nonsense. So.
Jesus.
Wow,
Hey.
RJ.
Wow.
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 Hey, you sound like you
Wow.
need a fucking evening show on Fox News with that kind of misogyny, buddy.
I mean, well, hey, it'd be better than Gutfeld. But all right, let's keep going.
All right, let's
When
continue
84
before I
on
get
HBO
canceled.
Max,
Okay.
a movie that showcased Patty Jenkins' talent, not just as a director, but also as a writer.
What the hell was that?
Excitement for Rogue Squadron took something of a tumble after that. Then we didn't really hear much about the movie until November 8th of this year, when the Hollywood Reporter.
Here's the thing. No one was talking about Rogue Squadron really after Wonder Woman 84. They were talking about Wonder Woman 3 because it was immediately greenlit. And then also they were talking about the Snyder Cut. No one in the Star Wars fandom was even talking about Rogue Squadron point blank at all, because you had like Bad Batch in the horizon, and there was the Taika movie, and there was a Feige production, and then Mandalorian had just wrapped up, and everyone was still talking about Luke Skywalker.
Well, yeah, it's because we didn't really know much about it. We don't know what it is, right?
Exactly.
We don't know what timeline it's taking place in. It's like, okay, cool, the concept's cool, but it's like outside of, it's like we don't know anything. Plus, it's like, okay, it's happening, cool. It's like they didn't tell if it was based on the video game. If it's like it was set during the original trilogy. If they would have given us like a timeline of like when it takes place, if it's like the Rogue Squadron with like Luke involved, or it's like post sequel trilogy or whatever, that would have been something. But obviously they didn't do that, so there's not much to go off of and discuss.
Yeah, it was just there was like not a lot of info across the board on it. But this again is this is the jumps to conclusions video that this is like what, 4 minutes in and it's already fucking terrible.
Reporter broke the scoop that Rogue Squadron had been taken off the production schedule due to scheduling conflicts. The scoop said it was hoped that once Jenkins fulfilled her previous commitments, she would be able to return to the project. Now, here it should be noted that The Hollywood Reporter is a studio mouthpiece, and it'll put out the message the studio wants to put out. In this case, the message they wanted to put out was that Patty Jenkins was such a hot and in-demand director that they only now noticed that she had been double booked for the shoot that was supposed to begin in the next few weeks. Hence, they had no choice but to take Rogue Squadron off the calendar, but just for now, only until her schedule clears. This is spin. The reality of the situation is that Rogue Squadron is dead in the water and will never happen. That is too embarrassing an admission to make though, which is why they instead say they'll temporarily take it off the schedule. Rationale being that you'll eventually forget all about it and not notice that the movie will not be returned to the schedule. More detail.
Needed.
After that, they say that, like, they said, oh, Patty Jenkins may not return to direct, but the movie will return, like, to shelves soon.
I don't think they said either or. I think they're kind of saying, hey, it's just on the back burner because she's so busy.
I think until we get more news on it, I don't think it's. I mean, we could speculate, sure, but to make it sound like it's a sure thing is like, guys know how I feel about saying things that aren't sure things.
Well, the reason why they're saying that like this because they don't want to disparage Doomcock, because at this point, I would argue that Midnight's Edge is like the corporate mouthpiece for Doomcock. Wow. They. Because I mean he's a bigger entity overall, but they can reach more mainstream. Because like
what?
Okay, it's kind of like, for example, Alex Jones, right? Is big, but he's so relegated to one area that oftentimes it's hard getting new people in. You need a proxy, and that's kind of what I'm talking about here, where it's like, they just basically Doomcock says something. They echo it, but they have a better chance of reaching the normies because it's not like a dude in a bedpan who has ties to Nazis. You know what I mean?
You threw me off for a second when you said dude in the bedpan. I was like, what?
No, that makes
and then
sense.
I remembered what you were talking about.
That makes sense, yeah.
I mean, that's kind of the whole point with all this stuff, right? Everything's that's one of the reasons why Friday Night Tights wants to go more mainstream. Like, why they bring on Chrissy Mayer from Compound Media, because they might be able to segue their popularity into an actual, I don't want to say syndicated show, but something that they might be able to get some kind of corporate backing for, which would then set all of them up nicely to not have to rely on super chats or ad revenue. You know, like you can tell where those guys are trying to carve out their own area in like the right wing entertainment space where there really isn't a lot of coverage on like a main level. You know, like there's no AM radio or you know, right wing talk show that's a daily entertainment based program. You know, oh, the woke left is out there trying to make an undocumented Zoro movie. You know, like that kind of shit. But there's a market for it. As sad as that is to fucking say, you know, like outside of YouTube, there's a massive market for that shit. Those fucking chuds eat that shit up.
Mm-hmm.
True.
So I think that's what it boils down to. Doomcock is in a stick that's ultimately going to fail because his eventually people are going to catch on. Midnight's Edge can just argue that they're reporting on rumors and then manufacturing lies about they're the first to report on something that happened on this show. That's fucking weird. And then everything else. So it's just kind of ridiculous nonsense overall. But all right, let's keep going.
It was revealed from Matthew Bellany's publication Puck, who revealed that it was really all about creative differences. More specifically, the powers that be at Lucasfilm, here represented not by Kathleen Kennedy, but by Michelle Rejoin, that couldn't agree with Patty Jenkins on the details of the story. Take note of that, because we'll be back to the significance of Michelle Rejoin being left out to dry later. In general, some are of the opinion that Patty Jenkins is not a storyteller, as evident.
But no, okay, sorry, I did clarify that. Notice how they don't say what Michelle Rejoin does.
Isn't she the head of Lucasfilm Story or whatever?
No, she's the head of their live action development.
Oh, okay. She's the one in charge of the live action movies, correct?
Yes.
Or like live action in general.
I think she's involved in like live action. She like I think movies mostly, but also probably Disney Plus.
Okay.
So it's like she was brought over from Bad Robot right before the release of Rise of Skywalker.
Right. So technically speaking, she's kind of like one of the most powerful people in the company now, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, absolutely. And so again, they're trying to like say that Kathleen Kennedy hung her out to dry. Kennedy's an executive producer. The producers, their job is to find the right people, put them in the right space, and then protect them. That's really about it. So them here trying to argue that, or whatever they're going to say here, I'll back it up 10 seconds, but talking about her as a storyteller is not necessarily the role of someone who's an executive producer. Because they handle the business side of it and they try to protect the project to make sure that it gets over the finish line and that all the pieces and parts work. But to imply that she's a storyteller would imply that she is essentially a filmmaker. And that's, again, not what she does. So let's go back.
Story. Take note of that, because we'll be back to the significance of Michelle Rejoin being left out to dry later. In general, some are of the opinion that Patty Jenkins is not a storyteller, as evidenced by Wonder Woman 84, so some may argue that Lucasfilm are only trying to give her notes in order to preclude her script from being an unmitigated disaster. And
sorry, I was wrong. I thought they were talking about Kennedy. They're talking about Jenkins. That's my mistake.
Jenkins does not take kindly to those notes. Others claim that her script is just fine, but that she can't work with many cooks in the Lucasfilm committee, whose track record is fairly spotty. Often the truth is somewhere in the middle, but in this case, both positions are probably correct. In either event, don't expect to see Patty Jenkins return to Star Wars soon. In the exact same article, however, Matthew Bellany also claimed that Kathleen Kennedy wasn't going anywhere anytime soon, as her contract, according to him, has been renewed for 3 years, up to 2024. To keep the timeline straight, on August 21st, we first disseminated Sutton's scoop that Kennedy's contract was due to be renewed. On November 15th, Matthew Bellany reported the renewal had happened.
Say what?
This is where one should ask, who on earth is Matthew Bellany, and how has he come by all of this information? While visiting our tri-weekly live show, Midnight's Edge in the Morning, writer and producer Cameron Pasha provided the answer to that.
Matthew Bellany was an editor at the Hollywood Reporter who was fired about a year and a half ago. What I'd heard at the time, it was that he confronted some of his bosses who owned the paper that he didn't like the editorial directions he was getting, which is one of those rare moments where you look behind the curtain and you realize these people are being given editorial directions, right? What I heard was that, and this is not anywhere in the trades, just rumors that I heard that I believe, is that the Hollywood Reporter had now decided to differentiate itself from from Variety and Deadline, which are owned by its competing company, Penske Media. And Variety and Deadline, as we talked about, are largely spokespeople for the club. The club being the public face of Hollywood, you know, the famous celebrities, you know, people like Bob Iger who love the limelight. That's the club, right? Whereas Hollywood Reporter decided, all right, in order to differentiate ourselves, we're going to support the behind the scenes power players of Hollywood, right? And whatever disagreement Mr. Bologna had about that direction or what they were going to do, I think it played out initially in a form that I didn't like, which is the Hollywood Reporter largely took the side of a certain ex-wife of
Pirate Guy,
because she was in a relationship with one of those powerful players, wealthy people behind the scenes, right? Who, you know, and so they took that side and went after
Pirate Guy
in a really disgraceful way, in my opinion.
Who's Pirate Guy?
They've also then taken the side of Bob Chapek. So
wait. Okay, so
he covers the person's name by saying Pirate
so
Guy.
he said something. No, okay, for one, notice that in this video right here, it says that Ghostbusters Afterlife is a triumph, extending Kathleen Kennedy's anything but, okay, Midnight's Edge in the Morning 174. It's an unlisted video. Do you see that?
Yeah.
Because they unlist those videos. And he's talking, whoever he's talking about here, I don't know. They're saying Pirate Guy. They're covering up a name. So to make it more intriguing. You also notice how the music changed?
Yeah. It changed to like this mysterious music.
Yeah, more like sinister.
Yeah, like they're talking about this thing. So according to the New York Times, Matthew Bologna did exit the Hollywood Reporter after a dispute with publisher. So he clashed with his bosses who run prominent film and television studio over coverage of the entertainment industry. So this actually did happen in 2020, April of 2020. So let's see here.
So Cameron's actually right. You're basically
his again, it's that whole notion of like, this is public information.
That he's
and then he's saying that I heard this.
It's his explanation for why it happened, where it gets a little fishy and weird.
Well, no, but he also says, if you noticed, he's like, I heard that he was fighting with the top people.
Right, he said it was a rumor that he believed, but he said he did say it.
Yeah, but I mean, it's been confirmed by the New York Times that actually was happening. So he can't sit there and say that I heard this was happening. That is confirmed to have happened. So his wording sets it up as it's a rumor. But in reality, again, he's just going to use what's publicly made available, and then he adds his own spin on it.
But it's the kind of thing that most people, even a lot of hardcore movie fans, aren't going to be completely aware of the details. So,
well, yeah, too, because who like, let's be honest, even like the hardcore movie fans, they don't pay attention like the backstage politics of the Hollywood Reporter. They're
unless
know
it's
who
like
Matthew
one of the
Bologna is.
Unless it's one of the big, you know, names and movers and stuff like Kathleen Kennedy or something. Like, yeah, most people aren't going to pay attention to that shit.
Well, it wasn't because I'm just kind of, I get what you're saying, Matt, but I think the thing I'm trying to understand, because I know Cameron was someone who was in the entertainment industry.
He hasn't worked on anything since like 2011.
Yeah, that's something you really got to look out for.
When did this situation happen?
2020.
Yeah, these grifters that one time worked in an industry a long time ago, but then still try to use that fact as, you know, like Robert Meyer Burnett's one of them. Ethan Van Sciver is one of them. You know, like they all worked in the industry at one point, but then they still kind of build themselves on like, oh, I've got these connections into the industry. I know secrets, you know?
Well, I'm sure like in the, Robert Meyer Burnett, I would grant as having, you know, solid insight into the industry because of stuff that he has done. But he also like,
hasn't he said Star Trek Discovery was going to be canceled like 4 times now, though?
I mean, I'm sure he'll say that he was just optimistic it was going to be canceled. But according to the statement that Bologna had sent out in when he left the company, he says, today's announcement is a result of a series of conversations I've had for a few months with Modi about the direction at THR. Some may want to read into that, but I'll just say that well-meaning, diligent, ambitious people can disagree about fundamental priorities and strategies. And so if that's really what it boils down to here, you know, obviously he was having problems with things, probably thinking that maybe because a media company was part of, I think so the people who run, I think, everything there, THR also have Media Rights Capital, who made films like Knives Out and Ozark and other films like that. They began overseeing the Hollywood Reporter as part of a reorganization of Valency Media, which also owns Dick Clark Productions. So again, they kind of folded the Hollywood Reporter into, this particular space where maybe the editorial control that they were, that they were kind of using was definitely maybe favorable to one over another sort of thing. And I can understand that as being a reason to exit. So, but that's what we know. But everything else that Cameron's going to say here most likely is probably unmitigated bullshit. So let's continue.
It is very interesting that this news or this information has been only apparently coming out through Puck, which is a media outlet I was not familiar with. I wasn't even aware of what Mr. Bologna was doing after he left the Hollywood Reporter. No one in the industry, to my knowledge, has ever talked about this thing. So it was like, for it to come out here.
Hold on. Actually, I can talk about that because Puck got a $7 million investment actually a while back. So I'm trying to find the article for that to give a direct day. Let's see here. Baloney, 7 million. Okay, so here we go. May 16th, 2021, so about 6 months ago, former Hollywood Reporter editor Matthew Baloney joins new digital media startup co-founded by John Kelly. Baloney, who started on May 1st, has joined the management team and will be leading Hollywood coverage and related business development for the new, as yet unnamed, subscription-based media platform to be launched this year by a startup company, which has raised $7 million in Series A financing. So, and the brand is going to focus on finance, politics, technology, and entertainment. And it's co-founded by John Kelly, who's a veteran of the New York Times and creator of Vanity Fair's The Hive. So, I mean, it's not like no one talked about him. He was fucking literally a Deadline article in May of this year. So, 13 months after he exited the Hollywood Reporter, sure, but it's like, it's not to say that he probably wasn't moving and shaking. The shit was probably already being talked about by some point or another. It's just, anyway.
Yeah.
Very frustrating stuff with Cameron Pasha.
Here means it was a strategic plant. The question is, who planted it?
In other words, Matthew Baloney is a former editor of The Hollywood Reporter who left the publication after the owners decided to shift their allegiance away from the Hollywood royalty, like Bob Iger and Kathleen Kennedy, and towards the power players and major investors behind the scenes, whose names and faces are often unknown to the public at large. This is incidentally why Bob Chapek has gotten more positive press in The Hollywood Reporter than the other two. As in trying to make Disney a for-profit company again, he is serving the same masters as The Hollywood Reporter.
Citation needed on that one, man.
See, but you know what they're trying to do though? They're trying to discredit Matthew Baloney, saying, well, he's trying to appeal to Hollywood elites like Iger and Kennedy. That's why he's putting out this, where he's dropping this. Oh, it's like.
But each and every one of these guys will literally gobble Chapek's cock every single fucking time they talk about him.
Which is so bizarre. It's like, why? You hate Disney.
Yeah, but it's because he's anti-Feige, he's anti-Kathleen Kennedy, apparently.
No, that's the thing. Like, I
don't get it. I just don't get it. It's so conflicting because they're not. I don't know if they're going to say anything in this that's going to make them approach Bob Chapek in a positive light, because Cameron Pasha sings his praises all the fucking time. It is ridiculously. It's so frustrating.
That as it may. Due to having been the editor of The Hollywood Reporter when they still serve the club of Hollywood royalty, Baloney will still have connections to that club and be fed information they want to leak, such as a Kathleen Kennedy renewal. And it wouldn't be the first time something like that leaked.
But look at the title of the article, by the way. It's time to take Star Wars movies away from Kathy Kennedy.
Yeah, it's a negative. It's kind of a negative headline and kind of a negative article about Kathleen Kennedy.
Yeah. But they only focus on the fact that it's like she's been renewed for 3 years. Oh no, that was the information they wanted to leak.
It makes no sense. The narrative.
Well, yeah, I mean, I feel like, correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like he just made a couple of leaps right there in that one statement where he's like, well, but he would have connections to the Hollywood royalty. So, it's like just making all these connections really quickly that sound reasonable. But like when you really stop to think about it, what is he saying? It's really just rampant speculation, right?
Yeah. I mean, and they're trying to play it up because Cameron will make those claims and they always prop him up. And if you read even some of the comments, you'll see people go like, oh, I just, oh, I love Cameron. He's so knowledgeable about Hollywood. And it's like, but they never actually listen to how he frames his arguments and how he says things. It's really scary.
The last time Kathleen Kennedy's contract was renewed was in the fall of 2018. This happened in the aftermath of Solo, a Star Wars story, flopping, and amid the fallout from The Last Jedi still cascading. Bob Iger knew already that Kathleen Kennedy was positively radioactive with a built-in audience, but since the option of not renewing her wasn't on his table, he opted for a renewal in silence, and without fanfare, while Favreau was working on a new direction. Hence, Disney never made any kind of official announcement that Kathleen Kennedy's contract had been renewed. Instead, Kathleen Kennedy's camp had to leak it themselves, which is why her renewal was made known in a Hollywood Reporter exclusive, in which the publication, quote, had learned from implied sources that Kathleen Kennedy's contract had been extended up to 2021. Disney never commented on or verified the scoop, but its veracity was never questioned, since a leak to the Hollywood Reporter usually is every bit as real as an official announcement. Even so, Disney's silence on the matter was tremendously embarrassing for Kathleen Kennedy, as she was on the receiving end of a barrage of hate from a fan base scorned, and she never got the kind of public show of support from Disney. That was embarrassing in 2018, but the manner in which the current renewal was made known is infinitely much worse.
Didn't Bob Chapek earlier this year in an investor call when asked about if Kathy was going to be fired, he's like, no, we expect her.
Disney Plus Day, he was like, oh yeah, and Kathleen Kennedy, like she's going to stick around for a long time.
No, that was not Disney. That wasn't on Disney Plus Day. That was well before.
I know when he announced Disney Plus Day, like it was like in June.
Okay.
In June.
Yeah, okay. It was definitely sometime this year.
Yeah,
is when. But
and he
either way,
said the day before Disney Plus Day, there was an investors call, and he even implied again that Kathleen Kennedy is staying. So it's like she's staying.
I guess like it's such a weird thing. It's like they keep trying to make Kathy Kennedy out to be this emotional wreck of a woman, and I mean, and that is all misogynistic and sexist in and of itself.
Yeah, we talked about this before, right? She's their Hillary Clinton.
Yeah. Like, oh no, she was humiliated. She was embarrassed. She didn't get the fanfare. She's so, massively deserved. And it's like, has she ever really sought the fan service though?
And
like,
she's also incompetent.
Well, my question is too, is like, why is it okay? Because I do remember when the Hollywood Reporter article came out. I don't believe Disney really officially said anything or put out any kind of words or anything. Like, why is that bad or embarrassing? I'm not understanding like the argument that that's a horrible thing for her that they don't acknowledge that publicly. They're trying to argue that because Disney didn't say anything, that it's a big deal. The thing is, it's really not that big of a deal. Like it's not that big of a deal. Not everything has a huge, oftentimes press releases, they just go out. There wasn't how often do you see executives getting re-signed to contracts where they bring out the ticker tape parade?
Well, yeah, they expect it's like they might actually really believe it should be a big deal because they spend so much fucking time and effort focusing on Kathleen Kennedy, whereas normal people don't, and normal people also don't care if she gets her contract renewed. In the sense that like nobody's expecting a fucking party for
maybe she didn't want a big deal, man. I mean, it's like, okay, I was gonna keep working. When does
anybody? When does that ever? I'm pretty sure Kevin Feige's had his contract renewed a couple times. They didn't have a big party about it. You know what I mean? They didn't have him come out and speak.
Didn't this whole thing happen because they didn't like The Last Jedi and they blamed Kathleen Kennedy?
Yeah.
I mean,
that I'm just saying that's what I've heard from one side of the argument. That
was the start of the I mean, not the start, but it was yeah. A lot of it began there. I think that's when a lot of mainstream people got kind of folded into the nonsense. It was already kind of happening online before that, but The Last Jedi brought in a lot of angry fans that didn't know or care about any of this culture war shit until then.
I mean, I thought The Mandalorian was great. I think The Mandalorian.
Yeah, most people do. But then whenever The Mandalorian's good, and they credit Jon Favreau with that, And
never mind, it was Kathleen Kennedy who put Jon Favreau
right
and Dave Filoni together on the project. Even though, I mean, the two have been friends for far before then, but for much longer before then. But she recommended that the two get together, and
I remember
clearly
him talking about it in gallery. He was like, he was like, Kathleen Kennedy called me to the office, and I was like, she wants to have a meeting with me, and Dave Filoni was sitting across the table from me, and she said, I want you guys to work on something, and boom.
And The Mandalorian was probably the best thing to happen to Star Wars because it got not only like Star Wars fans seem to enjoy it, but also like non-Star Wars fans or people who have like no Star Wars and might not have been interested. Like everyone was loving The Mandalorian. Like I like The Mandalorian. I don't like Star Wars that much. Like I like Star Wars is okay, but I'm not a huge fan of it. But I love The Mandalorian. It's like the first Star Wars franchise or Star Wars related thing that I like all in.
Yeah, I mean it's made for everybody, right? It's like it takes place and it's steeped in the world of Star Wars, but you don't have to know everything. You don't only have to know what it tells you as it goes, basically.
Right.
So yeah, you don't have to. It doesn't bring all the baggage of everything else.
I mean,
it really doesn't.
Well, I would say there are some parts of The Mandalorian that I feel like if I didn't know Star Wars, I would probably not get it as much as I do. But you're right. Like, I think Kathleen Kennedy putting those people together to make such an amazing show was the best thing for the Star Wars franchise.
Yeah.
No, it absolutely was. I think there's like they've done a lot with it. They like I've heard Tom Connors, legit, and we've covered it here on the show. Legitimately claim that like no one watches The Mandalorian and that they just buy like the merch. Like they know who Baby Yoda is, but they don't engage. Like they're kids who have it.
Wasn't partially wrong though.
No, it's there. You know how many kids I see wearing fucking Baby Yoda merch?
You said that he said they weren't buying the merch.
No, they're buying the merch, and he's like, but they're not. He's like, but they're not engaging with it. I'm like, bitch.
What does that mean? They're watching the show. I mean,
they know who it is. I was literally at the mall the other day, and this kid like got out of his mom's car, and he had like a Baby Yoda shirt on, and he had a Baby Yoda like rain slicker with like it was beige, and like the Baby Yoda, the head was the hood was the head. It was cute.
Well, I was gonna say the reason why I do agree with him on that statement is because I bought Baby Yoda stuff before I watched the show, and I mean I wasn't planning on buying Disney Plus or getting Disney Plus to watch it because I don't really support Disney.
Well,
but
you bought the merch.
Yeah,
you bought the merch. That's supporting Disney.
Disney.
That's supporting Disney. I mean,
I did. Don't judge me.
I'm not judging. I'm not judging. I'm just pointing out like
didn't The Mandalorian launch Disney Plus?
Yes,
it did.
Yeah.
And I want to buy Disney Plus, damn it.
But it was the show that they put all of the weight on the streaming app onto, and it did pretty well from what I remember. Like a lot of people.
That's true. I'm a hypocrite, guys.
You were a hypocrite, yeah.
I am a hypocrite. I couldn't do the pop.
Saggy is a woke hypocrite.
I have addiction to pops. I couldn't not buy the gigantic baby Grogu pop, dude.
It's okay. You can join the hypocrite flag.
I'm gonna make you feel better, Saggy. I'm gonna do something here for you on my avatar.
I couldn't help myself. I have a problem.
You like that? You like that, Saggy? Look at my avatar.
That's cute.
Yeah.
No, bring him full screen. There you go.
My Grogu fleck.
I love it, but no, but like I said, I will say that a lot of people, for the record, I think what he was saying, like a lot of people were just buying the baby Yoda stuff because it was cute. But I will say it did make me want to watch it. So when RJ, hooked me up, I was just like, now I can watch The Mandalorian.
My
Honestly,
girlfriend.
If anybody, I can't imagine many people buying it and then like not watching the show. Like maybe some people saw it and were like, "Oh, that's so cute," and they buy it, not even caring what it is. But then after you get it, you're probably going to be interested to watch the show. And then like little kids that are wearing that shit, kids don't like to wear shit that they don't like, for the most part. You know what I mean? Like
some kids are like they'll if you buy them something, they'll just appreciate having something and not even caring as long as it looks cool. They don't really care where it's from.
Kids these days, though, with their screens and everything, I don't know about that.
I mean, kids want to reflect. Kids will reflect what they're into.
Right.
All right. Like if you give a non-Marvel, like let's say you've got a kid and that kid really likes Batman, Everything about that kid reflects Batman. And
Yep.
you give that kid a fucking Marvel backpack, that kid is not going to want to wear that Marvel backpack.
Gonna get mad. Where's my Batman backpack?
Yeah, I want Batman. I want
but,
Batman.
There are some kids, like, it depends on age. Like, my niece, dude, I could just buy her something that I like, and she won't have any idea what it is, but she'll love it none the same. So, I mean, it depends on
She's
the,
just being nice to your face. I'm sorry to tell you.
First of all,
She's got a room punch in the bag. She's like,
first of all, pause. My niece is not nice to me because on Halloween she was dressed up as little friggin' Judith from Walking Dead. She looked absolutely adorable and I loved her. But then I came out with my little onesie, my little reindeer onesie, because I just only had that because I didn't have a costume. And she's just like, it's Halloween, right? And I was like, yo, this little girl, bro. She's like, it's Halloween, right? It's not Christmas. Why are you wearing a Christmas onesie? And I was just like, yo, she's a savage when she needs to be, but she's very.
I would ask a question. Yo, how old is she?
Oh God, how old is she now? I think she's like 8.
What is she doing dressed as Judith from The Walking Dead?
Yeah, that's fucking crazy.
yeah.
That brings up some questions.
Saggy, what are you
Well,
teaching
A
I
lot
me?
of kids watch The Walking Dead, apparently.
No, here's the thing. I don't think she watched The Walking Dead because I think she just.
She watched The Walking Dead. I guarantee you. I guarantee you she watched The Walking Dead. I guarantee it.
Her parents were dressed up as Walking Dead characters, so it's part of the costume.
She'll be like, Mommy, show me who this character is. Like, okay.
Either way, point is,
She's got a poster of Coral up on the
Coral.
Coral.
Some kids will just like whatever their parents like, and not know anything about it.
Well, okay, I'll put it to you like this. Fine. Like, for example, like my girlfriend recently bought the Mandalorian color palette for makeup because she's into makeup. So, and she was really excited to show it to me, and it's really cool, actually. I'm not into makeup at all, but I just can appreciate the aesthetic. Last year, she bought the Baby Yoda palette that they had. She bought one for her, one for my sister. And she has not seen the show. She's seen clips from the show, but she has not sat down and watched it. Although she wants to sit down and watch it, but it's, difficult to like find the time some days. So, and again, she's not like, she likes Star Wars, but she's not as engaged into it as I am. But my daughter knows Baby Yoda. We went to, the key thing is this: you go to Costco and you look around and you're like, you will see like this wall of just Baby Yoda merch, and then also like Mandalorian stuff or Boba Fett stuff I'm seeing now. And that's in Costco. And that's about as mainstream as you're going to get in regards to like that kind of stuff.
Right.
And people are buying it and they're engaging with it because they know that there's clearly a fan base out there for it. And so when Tom says that people out there are just buying it and then they're not engaging, that is it's a very short-sighted argument to make, because he's using it as a cudgel to attack Lucasfilm rather than looking at it from the exact understanding of why it's there. Like, how many kids out there have been like Disney kids, growing up watching all them Disney movies, and they're just long-term, lifelong fans because that's what their parents were into and they got into it. So you might be building that fan base right now, but guess what? That fan base will one day mature, and then, dollar bills, y'all.
I will say, in a sense, like, both you and him are kind of correct, because I do feel like there are still a lot of people out there who will just buy something because it's trending and not actually get into it, because some people are like that. However, I will say it does speak to how great Mandalorian was and how much the marketing, the toys and stuff has really helped the franchise, because I do feel like a lot of people like myself were in that mindset of like, well, I know Star Wars, I'm not really huge into Star Wars, but now Baby Yoda is a thing and it's really popping. Now I want to see what the hype's about, and now they're engaging. So I would say, in a sense, I feel like both are kind of right, because I think in the sense you really can't say the general that every single person who's buying merch is engaging with it.
I want Disney to release the numbers on Mando. That's what I want.
They haven't released the numbers yet?
No, they haven't released the numbers yet. There's 118 million Disney Plus subscribers. And I would argue that the vast majority have probably seen Star Wars and probably seen. Now, the Marvel content is really what is blowing up Disney Plus right now, because there's a lot more of it than there has been in regards to Star Wars. I mean, especially in 2021, all we really got was the Bad Batch and Star Wars Visions. Both were good, but.
Can I ask a question? Because you might know the answer to this. So when Disney Plus launched, was like Mandalorian one of the first like major original series that they put on there?
It was the first.
Okay, so then yeah, the numbers for that then must have been almost unanimous because I feel like everyone got Disney Plus just to watch The Mandalorian.
Well, there were a lot. I mean, the thing is, like, it's like this. There were a lot of people who got it for The Mandalorian, but anyone who has kids is gonna get it for that.
Okay, yeah.
You know, like for example, tonight we watched Big Hero 6, and then we started watching the animated series for Big Hero 6 because it's a direct continuation from the movie.
Yeah, but animation, it was better with CGI.
Yeah, it's better than CGI, but you know what? Hey, guess what? It's fine with watching animation. I like the show.
Yeah, well,
it's a good show.
CGI, man.
Yeah, well, sorry, they don't have the budget to do all that shit in CGI,
I mean,
saggy.
do it freaking Disney.
But they got most of the voice cast to return, so Maya Rudolph is back as Aunt Cass. Snackety snack, 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 RJ.
No.
Although, look, to be fair, Aunt Cass is got dead ass.
By the
so,
way, RJ, double whammy for you. If you ever see Nailed It, Maya Rudolph makes appearance on that show. You can nail Maya Rudolph.
Dane, RJ had made a comment about. There. I thought we lost you. No, RJ had made a comment about Saggy looking like Maya Rudolph.
She did. She was a snack. Did.
And so we give him shit over it.
He also gets harder when I yell at him.
He has admitted that too. That when Saggy yells at him, he gets harder.
No, that was out of context. That was
really the context. I don't think makes it any better.
I don't know what kind of context that would make that any different. Honestly,
I know is I just feel like there's
because Saggy said I had gotten very hard on things lately. I was much more critical. She said, RJ, you're a lot harder. So I said I was playing around with her, basically saying that she berates me all day. So no wonder I'm harder. It's because you yell at me all the time, so I get grumpy. That was like my whole point.
Is that what you call it? You get a grumpy. You got a little grumpy right now. You got a raging grumpy.
All right. Good night, everybody. It's been great.
We love you, RJ. You're awesome. Don't leave.
I love you, grumpy RJ. It's fine.
We love you, you're grumpy.
All right, hold on. Jess here, $5, buddy. Thank you. Says, to be fair, I bought my lightsaber from Galaxy's Edge, being hyped by the 9th Jedi short from Star Wars Visions. There you go. I mean, I'll tell you the coolest thing though about Galaxy's Edge and the lightsaber stuff is that you can actually, if you have Jedi Fallen Order, you can recreate your Galaxy's Edge lightsaber in Fallen Order. Or vice versa if you go there. So like that was some cool brand integration that didn't really get talked about that much. So I mean, the people like to argue Star Wars is fucking dead. Star Wars ain't fucking dead.
No.
All right. Like Fandom Menace here says Nerdrotic and Cosmic News Cope tweets about Hawkeye today. Yeah, I've got that. We'll have to cover that later. The fact that the guy who runs Cosmic News was oh my god. He was saying this stupid. I saw you retweeted that one thing about Eternals.
Fucking dumb, dude.
But did you follow the thread back to the beginning?
Yeah, I was looking at all of them. I'm gonna look at them on stream Saturday probably.
Okay, it was so bad. Like he's all like oh, what? How did with that whole part in the show when Kate Bishop like used the pillar to like swing around and take that guy out, leg sweep that guy. And he's like, where'd she learn that? I didn't learn that.
It was
like,
literally hinted at from the first episode. She learned martial. Oh my god.
Aside from the fact that, I mean, this is literally just, he's like 2 weeks late on this argument too, because it's the same shit they were saying, after the first couple episodes, and he's acting like he's the first one to say it. It's like, if you're gonna call everything woke, at least be like, I don't know, fucking Geeks and Gamers or and like don't try to go into too much detail about why it's woke. But this guy tries to, but he's too dumb to actually make any rational or even superficially rational points. And it's really, really fucking cringe to read the shit he's got to say.
By the way, just for the record, I want to make it a statement that this is the first Midnight Edge video I've ever watched, because I usually watch their live streams, but their live streams are pretty good. They're very
no, their live streams aren't very good. They're pretty bad.
The ones I've seen are great. We were talking about Cowboy Bebop. It was great.
Is it the same people that do the videos though? Because I don't understand how they
listen. RJ would love Midnight Edge because they had a whole stream with all these beautiful women on there who did not like Cowboy Bebop. So RJ would have fit right in.
But did they look like the Fox News ladies?
What does it even mean?
RJ only likes the Fox News ladies. Remember that. And Psyche and Maya Rudolph. So.
What does it even mean?
I don't. Well, I don't even know what's going on right now.
I don't either.
I don't know
I'm lost.
either.
I'm lost. Let's get back to the humiliation of Catholic. Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
This is painful.
the kinky humiliation.
While Kathleen Kennedy had to leak the previous contract extension herself, the write-up in Deadline Hollywood, at the very least, was glowingly positive in its description of her. By contrast, Matthew Bellany's write-up in Puck is harshly critical of her. The title of the piece is...
Wait, didn't they just say that it was Deadline? That was a Hollywood Reporter article that they were showing.
They might have messed it up.
They're messing up a lot in this. Like, I mean, they did not fact check the script. And I have to ask if they just used an AI to pull from all their previous videos in order to make it, because that's kind of what I'm feeling like here.
After all, it's time to take Star Wars movies away from Kathy Kennedy, and it proceeds to detail how badly she mismanaged Star Wars on film, and with good reason. While the movies put out on Kennedy's watch were for the most part billion-dollar movies, they were supposed to have been $2 billion movies. And the only real success on her watch has been The Mandalorian. And while she does get credit for it courtesy of her position, it can be questioned whether or not that is really deserved.
Okay, so 2.2 billion for The Force Awakens. 1.4 billion, 1.3 billion for Last Jedi. 1.1 billion for The Rise of Skywalker. 1.06 billion for Rogue One, and like 400 million for fucking Solo. All right, like the fact that Rogue One hit $1 billion. The fuck is this guy talking about?
Yeah, I mean, really, Solo is the biggest failure there,
and it's found a cult audience on streaming.
Yeah,
you know, it's
I liked
found
it more the second time. I didn't care. I really didn't like it in theaters. I watched it again after, at home, and I was like,
I feel
all
like
right. It's pretty good.
I feel like these arguments about the numbers, it's like people, because Star Wars is such a big fan base, they have like a big fandom. It's like I feel like no matter what they put out, people are gonna go and spend the money to watch it, whether it's good or not. I think that's kind of where we are with Star Wars, because even though people are dunking on it, they're still spending the money to see it regardless.
Yeah,
that's just how I feel.
We're also kind of in an unprecedented era of Star Wars. Well, especially now it's kind of settling into something more I guess concrete, even as it's spreading out more. But like during the time of The Last Jedi and Solo, it was like we'd never been in an era of Star Wars like that before, where we're actually looking at multiple films coming out in short periods of time, and like not all of them are going to be fucking $1.5 billion successes. Some of them, that's basically what they were doing, is testing the waters. What can we get away with?
Right. That's why I said
there was
earlier.
always a chance that a Solo movie might not do as well as a movie that takes place in the proper, trilogies or whatever. Yeah, so it's weird to act like everything's a catastrophe when one doesn't do as well or whatever. And yeah.
And I was going to say, that's what I mean. Like, I feel like if Star Wars had just started, right, I can understand a lot of the criticism. But because Star Wars is such a very old franchise, that they're going to always have hit and misses within their franchise. Because, you're going to have a good movie. Maybe you have two good movies, and you're going to have the one movie that's just not that great. And then maybe they'll get back to going good, or maybe they'll just be on a rough patch. But I think with this franchise being so long as it is, I think, the numbers that they make and how much money they make, I'm like, people are going to spend the money regardless because it's Star Wars. Then Star Wars name's attached to it, so they're going to see it no matter what, in my opinion. And I feel like that's just where we are, because I think all the people who are even making this video, when they make the new Star Wars movie, I feel like they're going to see it, because they at this point they're going to have to, because they're going to
have to, because that's the trash on it. That's the whole point. Is like it's all a game. Like Midnight's Edge says, Star Trek Discovery sucks. Don't get CBS All Access, but yet we're going to watch Star Trek Discovery every week. And I'm in the chat going like, yo ho, a pirate's life for me. And they're like, shut up, dude.
And I mean, I completely think that it's like, I don't care if people are like, if they're movie critics, right? Their job is to review movies, so of course they have to see the movies. Some of them get paid to do so, but if you're a YouTuber, you're usually paying for your own way to make the content, sure. But I think it's like, I feel like if they really truly do hate the direction that these companies are going with the franchise that they love, that the best option would be just stop watching, stop giving them your money.
Yeah, but then they wouldn't be able to make the fucking rage clicks, Saggy. And
Yeah.
you gotta get them rage.
Well,
clicks.
you gotta figure out which one you want. You want the YouTube content, or you want the friggin' movies to be made better. You gotta pick and choose here, people. We can't have both. Can't have your cake and eat it too, unless you're RJ.
What does that even mean?
I don't know anymore.
It's 4 o'clock in the morning.
I can't tell. I can't tell if. Yeah. Let's just hold on. Mo Moon here for $2 says, Jarbo, tell me why a dead deer appeared on my door. I don't know. Did you? I mean, Uber Eats that shit or what?
Ugh.
Like they'll say, hey, do you know, like at this point now, like Uber Eats will just act as like a courier service for like normal shit,
cigarettes and shit. Yeah.
Like no, like not cigarettes. Surprise! I'll do booze, but like not. They won't ever let me do cigarettes. It's really weird. Yeah. But no, like my girlfriend was doing it during the day a while back, and like she got an order to take a guitar from like one dude's house to like another dude's house, and it was like $10. So she's like, all right, fine, fuck it. But like. She just texted me. She's like, this is the weirdest Uber Eats order I've ever done. I'm like, is someone going to eat the guitar?
I was about to say about the dead deer at his door. Maybe that's the Alabama Uber Eats or something like that.
Maybe. I mean, yeah. Mo likes to bring up that a deer has died on my property. Like I killed it like I'm Chappaquiddick or some shit.
We have that
Puck piece concludes by
hold on. Let's just keep going.
Stating, after nearly a decade in charge, it seems clear Kennedy isn't that person and doesn't have that team in place for Star Wars to thrive as a film franchise. Kennedy has a lot of good things happening at Lucasfilm, and I'm told she recently re-upped her deal for another 3 years. She's a producing legend and up there with the best who have ever done it. But Star Wars as a film franchise is a disaster, and someone else should be given a chance to fix it. The closest thing we have to confirmation of the Puck scoop comes from Frank Marshall, producer extraordinaire and Kathleen Kennedy's husband, who retweeted a quote referring to Kathleen Kennedy's renewal, but conveniently removing Bellamy's criticism of that renewal. In confirming that part of the scoop, however, Frank Marshall tacitly also confirmed everything else, as well as implying where Bellamy might have come by the information in the first place.
What?
Wait. Okay.
No, he didn't. All he did was retweet a quote tweet.
What information did he remove? He didn't.
It was like tacitly removing it.
Culture Crave was just announcing that, that Baloney was saying.
He literally just retweeted something, so he didn't remove anything that was said in that tweet.
Kathleen Kennedy reportedly extended the Lucasfilm contract for another 3 years. Puck News. But how could this be? A bunch of sputtering mad YouTube randos with walls of fan codes behind them said their uncle's cousins' roommates work at Lucasfilm and Harry Kennedy was on the way out. That's all Frank retweeted.
That's all. Yeah. By the way, you got to love the Spaceballs reference in that tweet.
Wait, but how could it be a bunch of sputtering mad YouTube randos? Ooh, did he just shots fired?
Yeah.
Well, Eric Vespi used to work for Ain't It Cool News. He writes for Slash Film Collider, Sci-Fi Wire, Fangoria, and then he also does the Kingcast. So he's been around. He's a journalist. Like he's been around for a long ass time.
Oh, okay. Oh, so I saw the check mark. Okay.
Yeah, I know. But the thing is, like, he has been around for quite a long time. And so he's just giving a bit of shit there, and then Frank is just retweeting that. But they said here that he's tacitly, like, leaving out the info. Like, it's just
he said by leaving out the info, he's tacitly admitting something and how he got just such random leaps of.
Wait, who left? That confuses. I'm very confused.
Well, that's the whole point. That's the confusing.
The husband retweeted this Eric guy.
Yeah.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
And they're saying that the husband left out stuff.
Yeah.
Even though it's retweeted exactly as it was tweeted twice before.
Yeah, you can't say that somebody left out something if they just retweeted it. The person who originally made the tweet would be actually the one responsible. If they left something out, that would be the person, not the husband.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And everything
that confused me. I'm sorry.
No, you're absolutely right. And then everything he said after that is based on that. So none of it matters. Everything after the point when he says that he removed information, because then he goes on to speculate, well, by removing that information, it means that this and this and this, and it's all bullshit.
Okay, yeah, that's why I was confused.
Frank is confirming right here is the 3-year extension.
Right, but that's why I wanted to say, because I was trying to keep up. I thought I misunderstood because that makes sense. I'm sorry.
No, you understood the nonsense that was being said.
Yeah, because that threw me off a little bit.
Hold on here. Matt Jarbo's left and right nipples, aka Law and Order, Says Enrique freaking Iglesias, sing Hero Matt, sing it now. I don't know that song. Wait, hold on.
I can be your
hero,
hero, baby.
I can be your hero, baby. I don't know. That's about all I
I
got.
can jizz away your pain.
Isn't that song all about? That
Dave.
song is all about sex, right? I remember that like being a thing. Like Enrique Iglesias, like he slayed his way through
Why
so
did
much.
Enosh use that song when he made that video about him being a hero? That should have been the song he used.
Because Enosh really wants the world to know that he eats pussy. All right. And the craziest thing about that is just that his son filmed the video of him joking about eating pussy.
Oh, I see.
And
Okay.
I respect it. I
you
respect
finished
it.
that sentence.
That's a flex on your kid right there.
I'm
you
glad
know?
you finished that sentence because I didn't have any context for what you're talking about. And then you're just like, he loves to eat pussy, and his son filmed that video for him.
Sorry.
and you paused, and you fucking paused, and then you're like, of him joking about eating pussy.
Oh no! Oh no!
So I was like, where is this going?
Oh no!
This.
All right. Sorry, let's watch this fucking video. This bullshit video.
Oh my god! What the hell? Why? Jesus Christ!
Oh, that was great.
Who planted it? Yep, who planted it?
Who planted it?
Oh god! I can't.
I
with the
did.
stream.
Matthew Bellany's Puck article consists of 3 core elements. First is the leak from inside sources that Patty Jenkins left over creative differences from primarily Michelle Ridgwan. Last is the leak from inside sources that Kathleen Kennedy's contract had been renewed. And in between the two, Bellany himself interjects how badly Kathy had screwed up Star Wars. That is Bellany's opinion, and it colors the entire piece. But the 2 leaks were actually favorable to Kathleen Kennedy, as one absolved her of blame in the Rogue Squadron situation, and the other says she's renewed, usually a vote of confidence. This heavily suggests that, like last time, Kathleen Kennedy's camp is behind this leak. But how could it backfire on them so badly? Cameron Pasha, himself a former journalist, had some thoughts on how this could have happened.
Wait. Where the fuck did this
When
guy?
was he a journalist?
When did he ever fucking go to fucking journalism school? What in the ever loving
What in the
fuck?
world?
Matt,
let's
we're all
hold on.
we're all journalists now, buddy. We're all journalists today.
RJ's a journalist. Sagi's a journalist.
I mean, I am a
Matt's-
journalist.
We're all journalists down here.
Hold
Yeah,
on.
because I was gonna say it doesn't
Dude,
say he was a journalist.
oh, okay. I'm sorry here. Allow me
Wall
to
Street.
provide this here. He majored he went to Dartmouth and he was the editor of where he majored in comparative religion, and then he was the editor of the college newspaper the Dartmouth. Then he worked as a journalist for Wall Street publisher Knight Ridder. That's it. KNIGHTRIDDER. Knight Rider? What, like
no,
two
it
Ds?
literally is Knight Ritter. It literally was an American
Yeah.
company.
During his tenure as a reporter, he interviewed international leaders such as the Israeli Prime Minister, the Pakistani Prime Minister, and the Peruvian President. He left journalism in 1996 and attended Cornell Law School, where he subsequently enrolled in the MBA program at the Tuck School of Business at Dartmouth, graduated with a joint law/business degree in the year 2000. And apparently he worked for a law firm and then went to UCLA and whatever. Okay. So, okay, fine. So he's done some work apparently.
He's got kind of an impressive resume.
Oh my God. No, there's no talking up Cameron Pasha on this show.
I like
None.
the Wall Street.
Saggy, get out.
Get out. Get the fuck out.
What the heck? I'm just what?
There's no way you can look at this guy and think he knows what he's talking about.
No,
Like,
I'm
there's just
saying
none.
I just said he has an impressive resume. Damn, like he went from being a screenwriter, director, novelist, and then he he was a writer of Wall Street, and then he went to do law school. Like he's kind of done some stuff. You can't. sit there and
Well,
say
but
he's
I
not
mean,
impressive.
maybe he sucks at all those things, and it finally caught up to him, and and he's just got to
Listen, most people don't do one thing, and that's the only one thing they ever do. Like people don't usually do multiple different things. I'm just saying that's all. Jeez, damn, I wasn't singing his praise.
All
I'm
right,
just saying
fine. Let's go.
My instinct is that Miss Kennedy couldn't get this information out. She wanted to get this information out. The trades had shut it down. And so she went through her Rolodex and said, hey, remember that Baloney guy? I think I talked to him once or twice. At that level, he was a high-level editor at the Hollywood Reporter. I'm sure he had lunch with her at some point. Sure, the paths crossed. So she had his number or email or whatever.
Yeah, he does that. He does very, very specific thoughts. He creates whole narratives. If you ever we've covered this before, he'll create meetings out of thin air. He'll create encounters out of thin air. He'll create all of these things that sound realistic enough. It's so weird.
He just put the image of anybody that's paying attention to this that is not asking the questions that we're stopping to ask, right? Like they're probably most of their audience where they're just like consuming all of that's being said as if it's fact. And they just imagined Kathleen Kennedy looking through a Rolodex, which, by the way, who even has a Rolodex anymore? But they probably think that's what actually happened.
Ask your assistant
Dane. Dane. You missed the remote viewing of Kathleen Kennedy's office stream.
Does she have a Rolodex? What?
No. There was a stream where this guy, I mean, I'm sure he's a sweet guy and all, but he apparently does he's a Wiccan, and he did some kind of spiritual remote viewing of Kathleen Kennedy's office and saw it was empty, so it meant that she wasn't coming back.
Well, okay.
That didn't happen.
To be fair on Cameron Pasha, he was part of a Doomcock stream where there was a guy there who was a witch who was using at first tarot cards to figure out what Kathleen Kennedy was what was going to happen to her career.
Are you fucking trolling me right now?
No, dude, I'm not trolling you. We covered it. I forget the episode we covered it, but we covered it. I'm not even kidding you.
It's a real thing. And they talked about the remote view where they looked into her office and they saw moving boxes.
Yeah, and they saw they used an obsidian mirror to do it. And then Cameron's like, oh, my mom did that. And then this guy's like, oh, I'll teach you how to do that. And Cameron's like, that'd be great. Thanks. And then there was another interview that he was on. We talked about this last week, where he was talking about Bigfoot being an interdimensional being.
Yeah, and these two girls were like, "Oh my god,
that's great." Now, granted, I like that theory myself personally, but as a gag.
Yeah,
but
as
still,
just a stoned thing to joke about.
The thing too, also, because Dane, you're from the Northwest. How big is Bigfoot up here?
Oh, Bigfoot's a fucking huge deal up here. And if you ever meet anybody in the Northwest, like I do, because I'm not from here, by the way, but when I first moved here and I met someone who they had Bigfoot hunter stickers on their car and stuff, and I was like, wow, man, you're really into that. And he was like, yeah. And I was like, but you're just doing it for fun. You don't really believe in it, right? And he's like, no, man. He fucking got real serious and looked at me and was like, no, I believe it.
Dane, I hate to burst your bubble.
What?
Bigfoot is real. Do you know how I know? Because I'm Bigfoot.
I was gonna say, is he between your legs? Hey, I don't know.
What?
Wow, Dane.
Wow. That's very misogynistic, Dane. Damn.
Wow, Dane. You've been hanging out with us way too long.
I know. Fucking Jarbo's rubbing off on me. It's all Jarbo.
Yeah, he does that.
You pay me enough.
I've been watching some of his content from 5 years ago.
Oh,
so
fuck.
Sorry to hear that.
Fuck.
I'm so sorry.
Jesus Christ. Enough of my own past fucks.
Whatever. So she reached out to him and said, just want to let you know this, or had someone proxy reach out. What she couldn't control is how he wrote that up, because he's not a trade. He's doing his own thing. And he's trying to, from a pure business point of view, he's trying to bring attention to Puck, right? I'd never heard of it. Now I've heard of it. Now we're all talking about it, right? I'm sure people are going to that site. I'm sure it's got subscribers that weren't there before this incident. So if I were a Machiavellian dude trying to make it on my own, I would take the intel that I was given and put my own passionate spin on it, which she couldn't control because it's not a trade. They can control the trades, right? This is a guy trying to make his bones and trying to get back in the game that he was kicked out of. So it makes sense for him. Was the reason I think that is that Deadline used to be what I'm claiming that Puck is trying to do here. Deadline under Nikki Fink used to be the muckraking, however you say it, website where Nikki Fink would put her passionate opinions out there and would call out people in the industry. And it was the place where we all went to for gossip. And, it wasn't a propaganda trade. It was then purchased by Penske, who pushed her out. He purchased it, put her on NDA on her. She actually tried to do some of her muckraking again, and he literally locked her out of her own website and told her it's not what our contract says. This is now going to be an official trade like Variety is, like the other company I own, right? So it may be that this gentleman, Mr. Bologna, is attempting to become the new Nikki Fink, the guy who's got the inside information, who can put his passionate spin on things. And I think it's worked because people now know he exists. And I've been saying for some time, I wish there was another Nikki Fink. You know, with Nikki, you would leak things to Nikki and you never knew what was going to happen. You could, and you would never knew if she was going to take your side in the leak. That's what made her such an entertaining reporter and a real reporter, right? So maybe Mr. Bologna is attempting to be the new Nikki Fink. That is my theory on what's happening here.
So, okay, so none of that was real.
I'm so confused at what I just listened
And now
to.
we're going to get the repercussions of all that.
brain
That
dead
doesn't mean anything.
Yeah. So just as a side note, he's talking about Bologna and things Bologna has written. The last 3 articles from Bologna over there at Puck are Facebook and Hollywood, a match made in the metaverse, talking about how premium video didn't work for Facebook before, and it doesn't want to be a player in that world now, but the metaverse might change Zuckerberg's strategic thinking. So that's just, again, about Hollywood and technology, I guess. Or no, not even Hollywood. It's just Facebook and technology. Bob Iger, the other one here, Bob Iger would love to buy an NBA team. Could the Phoenix Suns be it? That was something that was talked about the other day. And then apparently Miramax just won an interesting Pulp Fiction battle talking about a statute of limitation situation. So he's covering stuff in Hollywood, but again, it's not like he's really blowing the pants off of things that we haven't already heard about. So Cameron,
I kind of felt like that, and that Kathleen Kennedy thing was basically just a big, editorial with a few, kind of obscure facts thrown in.
It really was. It was aimed for the whole part, the whole notion of, she got renewed, but like she's fucked up enough. And it wasn't even like he slid it in there. It wasn't even like the main point of the article. So I think they're really trying to read into it as much as humanly possible. But let's get closer to the end.
Bob Chapek's strategy for Disney is an end to long-term contracts, such as the one Kathleen Kennedy was just awarded, which suggests that her contract is not the standard fare. Likewise, Edward Lauder at Small Screen had intel from a source that reported to him that Kathleen Kennedy will be at Lucasfilm for the foreseeable future, explaining that, quote, the contract might have been officially extended until 2024, but it seems as though the ball's very much in Kennedy's court regarding how long she stays as Lucasfilm's president. This again suggests that this is no normal contract, but something unique to her. No other executive gets contracts that allow them to stay until they decide they no longer want to. If indeed Kennedy has been given such a contract, it is not in recognition of her talent or how much money she has made the company, because she hasn't,
It's not.
but as a face-saving measure for someone who...
Of course. What
yeah.
the fuck, man? I'm actually getting angry at how they start off with seemingly fact-based stuff, and then suddenly it just on a dime it's like, well, didn't get that because of her talent or her how much money they've made. And it's like, fucking citation needed. All right,
I know, and they're let's see. Okay, so yeah, I'm reading that article right now from Small Screen, and they said that their source, and they're not listing Mikey Sutton as their source, although they do link to his article talking about her contract being extended all the way back in August, again on my show. Yeah, I mean, no, it's just they're saying this right now. I mean, look, even saying it's like Kathleen Kennedy staying as the Lucasfilm president for the foreseeable future. Isn't that exactly what Bob fucking Chapek said a couple times? Just she's going to be around for a while. We want to keep her around for a while. I mean, that's pretty clear cut that they're going to renew her. And these guys act like it's the fucking biggest reveal of all time.
Well, I mean, they're acting like she literally has a contract that's literally says you can just stay on until you feel like leaving.
Well, it's like the conspiracy theories. It's also the conspiracy theories of doom. Like, oh, she might just stay here forever, guys. She might never want to leave just because she's bitter. And it's like, okay, whatever.
Yeah, kind of like how she chose to ruin the sequel trilogy to get back at George Lucas for something. That was one we talked about on here.
Oh yeah, they've made that claim multiple times.
It's like, yeah, this
never with
lady
any specifics.
Spent her life, producing awesome fucking movies, and suddenly late in the game, she works her way all the way up to the president of Lucasfilm. She's like, now I will enact my evil vengeance. Like,
now is the time. I have the power. You know, yeah, she becomes Skelegod, and that's why they fucking hate that show. You know, I don't know. Let's okay, we're coming up on the end of this.
All right.
I know. I want to like. I feel like you do, Dane. I'm like, I just want to get to the end and then slowly die.
Otherwise might burn the magic castle down on their way out the door. We've also learned some more information from our own sources, though here we must first recommend you take everything with a grain of salt and
Wait.
treat as rumor, as none of this can be independently.
Sorry, can we go back like a few with the picture of the two women?
It's
What
Amy
the
Pascal.
fuck is that dress, bro?
Which
Amy
dress?
Pascal and Kathleen
That
Kennedy.
dress is hideous. Look at how. Oh god, I'm sorry. I saw that. I was
which
like, "Ooh,
one?
the one on the right.
Amy Pascal.
Yes, it's this. It's, I saw that. I was like, oh, why
The
would you?
blue dress or the black dress?
The
They're
black
both pretty
dress.
bad. They're both pretty bad.
Yeah.
At least but see, at least the left one looks good on her because it fits her. But the right one, you just see all her age. Okay, I'm sorry. That's what I
Are
want
You
to
see
say.
you see her age?
Suspecting older women, Saggy? Like,
What
the
does
hell?
that even mean? You're just like look at them saggy titties.
Yeah,
oh
she was
maybe.
like,
Oh no, we solved it. We solved it, folks. That's why Saggy Melons is called Saggy Melons. Now we know. This is this projection.
Yeah.
You heard it here first. Hollywood After Dark, Saggy Melons.
That dress.
We got an HWAT exclusive, folks.
That
Age
dress-
what-
That dress triggered me so bad we had to go back and look at it. Okay, continue. I'm sorry. Mute my mic. That dress is so fucking ugly.
The longer I look at them, they're both pretty awful. I mean, like, honestly, it makes me feel bad because it's like they're Hollywood, power producers, and they probably have to wear, garbage.
The one on the blue looks fine for what she like. It looks fine, but like the one on the right's like, what the hell were you thinking? This isn't like a fucking movie awards ceremony or some shit, unless it is. But still,
It might be.
Please don't wear that. Look at the titties on that. Like, oh, I can't. Okay, all right.
You guys are fucking nuts. All right,
out
let's
the door. We've also learned some more information from our own sources, though here we must first recommend you take everything with a grain of salt and treat
probably
as
should have
rumor,
said that at the
as none of
beginning
this
of
can
the
be
book.
independently verified. What we have consistently heard is that Kathleen Kennedy's position is increasingly ceremonial. Creative influence over Star Wars
it's
has been
Cameron
mostly
Pasha.
deferred to Jon Favreau, certainly where the Disney Plus shows are concerned, while her own projects are all facing various difficulties, which could preclude most or all of them from
Wait,
ever
I'm
seeing the
sorry,
light of day.
Matt,
She used
real
to
quick.
Yeah.
Why would they? Okay, if let's assume all of the bullshit they've been saying about how she's such a failure, her movies have failed, she's been a disaster. Why would they then give her a ceremonial title and not just? Why would they continue to pretend as if she's got some power?
Doomcock touched on that, and he had said that it's like a Japanese company that finds that it's better to take an older executive and give them a window office at the end of the hall, and then just kind of let them retire gracefully rather than suffer the embarrassment of outing them.
What?
Yeah, basically, like, and again, Cameron Pasha has made a very interesting claim about how Kathleen Kennedy could potentially like Me Too all of Disney and like suicide bomber everything.
They compared her to a suicide bomber, saying that if she gets kicked out, she's taking out all of Disney, basically.
Yeah, remember it was one of my
That's where the
TikToks.
misogyny comes in.
Yeah, it was one of my TikToks where I covered that, and I said, "Oh yeah, so when a woman retains power in Hollywood, she becomes a suicide bomber." Like it's so weird. The shit that this guy says, and it's never once pushed back on. It's never once refuted. It's never once anything. It's always like that. So that's kind of where we are with this. But this is here. This whole argument about how she's kind of being, it's only done ceremonial. This is Cameron Pasha saying this. So they cite Cameron Pasha, with this bit earlier in the video, and then now they're bringing Cameron Pasha back, but they're not naming Cameron Pasha.
Yeah, not for this specific, maybe even actionable claim, right? Like, I mean, yeah, that's the kind of thing that it's specific enough that you don't want to have your name attached to it if you know it's bullshit.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty much. So it's just like, it's very interesting. And it's Doomcock does the exact same thing. I think I talked about this a couple of weeks ago where you can like find Cameron Pasha on Midnight's Edge in the morning, and you can like find what he says there, and then you can almost tie it into what Doomcock says later on. It's all circular, it's all bullshit, and I don't know. I'm sure like Midnight's Edge knows that they're full of shit. I don't know if Doomcock does. I don't know. I feel like there's got to be like the true believer in this, and I think that is Doomcock or Cameron. Like they're both true believers, and someone Midnight's Edge, this particular scenario, would be controlling them from behind the scenes. Again, that's probably way too fucking much. But
I mean, yeah, it's hard for the mind not to wonder, like who is in the know. Like, I can't. It's hard to imagine everybody involved with the production of these videos, because it seems like they have several people involved that they're all just this in on the or this just, I don't know, disconnected from reality and believing bullshit. Somebody has to be aware that there's nonsense being pushed.
And you know, their audience is seeing that a bit more, because I've done a video saying that Midnight's Edge is just lying to you, and I do get comments on it still from people that are telling me that like I used to sub to them, and yeah, they're full of shit. So I think people are catching on. It's not to say that they're losing relevance in some aspects, but it is kind of you know, a slow burn. People are waking up because they keep saying Kennedy's going to be fired, and then it's like, oh no, she's getting renewed, but let's now frame it as being a ceremonial thing, that she has no actual power. And again, nothing to back that up, because everything in this was like conjecture and fucking hearsay. But all right, let's.
I mean, yeah, you know what it reminds me of, honestly, the kind of cope where, you know, when started to bring strictly politics into it, but like Trump losing the election, and then you got there were certain Trump people that were like, oh, well, he's not really, you know, like QAnon. They're like, well, Biden is only president temporarily because, you know, Trump's going to come back, and it's like this just massive fucking cope with you know, they can't cope with reality.
Well,
so
you know, at a fundraiser last night, Trump said that he won the election twice. So I mean, like, he did say this. It's recorded. And you're like, you gotta be kidding me, dude. Like,
yeah, he's gonna push that as far as he can, as long as he's making money from it, at least. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm just saying, it's like, you know, these guys operate under the same mindset. Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers like absolutely embraces Trumpism as a way to build his brand by never apologizing and to keep doubling down. And these guys operate very similarly, but they are picking up very much on the QAnon, Qborg part of it, where you know, just saying, it's like, this is the logo I've made for them. The Qbaka, these guys. The Qborg are the DC people. These guys are the Qbaka. Terrible branding on my end, but whatever.
I like it.
Let's wrap this bitch up.
To have full creative control over Indiana Jones, but while she retains influence over it, she lost that control when it was decided to push the movie back a year in order to retool it, as we've already covered. It's been opined to us that the only reason Kathleen Kennedy hasn't left yet, despite the increasing narrative even within Hollywood that she screwed up Star Wars, is that she has nowhere left to go that could be seen as a step up. And to leave now would mean cementing the impression that when she got a studio to run, she blew it. Better than to wait until others have gotten further in cleaning up her mess, so she can leave while claiming credit for their work in brand management. We've also heard from separate sources, one reason could be a stipulation from the original contracts when Disney bought Lucasfilm, and Lucas sealed the fate himself by giving Kennedy a lifetime contract of sorts. Or that the contract gave her first right to refusal since the main Star Wars trilogy managed to make $1 billion each, even if just like The Rise of Skywalker. The irony facing Disney here is that even if her role may be mostly ceremonial at this point, her continued presence alone will prevent lapsed fans from returning to the Star Wars fold, which threatens to undercut everything Jon Favreau is doing in the upcoming Book of Boba Fett and beyond. Let us know how a Kathleen Kennedy renewal affects your excitement for the future of Star Wars in the comments.
Oh my God.
And remember that to help protect your data, bypass.
Yeah.
Now give us your opinion, your feelings that we just worked up all this fucking anger inside you with all this nonsense.
Yeah, now that we've got you angry.
Now engage in the comments and help us get the fucking algorithm going. You know what I mean? Like, god damn it, dude. It's actually kind of impressive. It's dishonest.
Are you really gonna leave a comment?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It's almost impressive, the grift.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
By the way, just FYI, because to correct you, spelled scoop wrong.
I'm aware of that. Not even that.
Not really.
Fucked me up on that one.
I'm sorry.
I know. Yeah, I fixed it afterward.
Uh-huh.
So anyway. It happened on Hollywood After Dark.
Look at the
I
top
would
comment.
appreciate it if you would update this with the correct information and
with the correct, not correction.
Correct. Fuck. No, well, yeah, I'm just tired. All right. My keyboard.
Function junction.
And fuck it.
Smiley face.
Thank you.
And dicks. You know, like a comment etiquette, do a dick and balls.
There we go.
Let's look at the top few comments here. Destroying a galaxy to serve her desires. She is the real Darth.
Vititate?
And that's the highest. Well, one of the highest one. No, the highest one is Disney. So we're renewing Kennedy's contract. Fans. So it is war. Jesus fucking Christ. These
Kennedy's renewal has sad my interest starts to the point that I can't even watch reruns. One of my earliest memories was sitting on one of my parents' laps watching Luke get his damn hand cut off in a theater. Disney and Lucasfilm made their choice. Kennedy's renewal is a complete disgrace.
I buy my Star Wars books secondhand. I treat Disney canon as non-canon.
Sorry, like I just want to see this level of cope here, right? Okay, Apocalypse here says every time they talked about Kathleen Kennedy, it hurts the Disney brand, and a lot of people don't care anymore. Okay, amen. Every time I think about watching Star Wars movies, I just can't get past the disgust and anger at Disney. F them.
Wait, so this person says that he's worried about the Disney brand being hurt, and then this guy says, "Amen." Now cancel Disney Plus and fire Kathleen Kennedy. Fuck them. Like what?
Yeah, it's all sorts of just nonsense. But if you look at the tags here, right? Star Wars, Mandalorian, Gina Carano, The Rise of Skywalker. Gina Carano not mentioned at all, right?
But they put her for the algorithm.
Not mentioned at all. You've got Nerderotic not mentioned at all. Geeks and Gamers not mentioned at all. Critical Drinker not mentioned at all. Doomcock not mentioned at all. Fandom Menace video game masterclass. Star Wars Theory, the Quartering.
What?
You know, yeah.
I mean, that's
why would they wait? Hold on. Why would they put Star Wars Theory in there?
Because Star Wars Theory has he's got what 3 million subs.
But again, most of the people who that seems like a
well, but also it's
crossover.
Star Wars Theory is a channel, but it's also just a thing people might search for, so they can kind of get both. That's part of the thing with tags like that, is you can kind of ride the fence on that type of thing.
I'm kind of curious here, like looking at their account. So it's like,
what program is this that you're using that you're able to see the?
I use a vidIQ plugin. I'm also a
Wait, hold the fuck up! Did they talk to Danny Trejo?
Yeah.
What?
Oh no! It looks like Robert Meyer Burnett.
But why is it on Midnight Suns? It's not his own channel.
It probably is on his channel too.
Let's see. It's they got Robert Meyer Burnett, and then they brought in Polly the Latino Slant. And then they brought in I can't tell. It's some other. Wait, was that the fucking guy? They brought in Jesse Miller, the Crow's Nest. That guy, dude. That dude's a straight up. Isn't he that guy straight up fucking racist?
Can we point out how? I don't know. I'm just looking at how every single title is a negative thing. Like everything is negative.
Yeah. But look to see, like they've got 205,000 subs, and just look to see like how this shit's going now, right? 58,000 views for 9 days ago. This new one here attacking Kevin Smith once again. Okay. 22,000 views because they're still trying to go after He-Man. The Ghostbusters, this is their big one here. Ghostbusters was pretty big. Eternals was
pretty big, yeah.
Yeah.
The next one.
Eternals review, yes, it's really that bad. And Andre got this one out before the Eternals dropped in the United States. And like now attacking Eternals, corporate wrangling of this. But even again, it's like, look, they tried covering the whole thing with fucking Alec Baldwin.
And then there's them upset about a female-centric Hellraiser, even though the original Pinhead and the novella was a female. and more androgynous, but was definitely more female than your movie Pinhead was. So complaining about a thing that they pretend they know and care about, but they don't even know the source material at all. So fuck them.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure this one is probably Andre. Isn't the actress? She's a trans actress, correct?
Yeah.
So they're gonna freak out at that one. I mean, Lucasfilm planning to reimagine the original trilogy.
Well,
right?
let me hold on. I just want to play devil's advocate here, and this is going to be a little bit spicy and probably get me canceled, maybe if certain people hear it. But like, if they're mad that they're gender swapping it to a female, but then I'm sure that most of these people also believe that a man is always a man and can't become a woman. So shouldn't they be okay with it if it's a trans woman? Do you see what I'm saying?
No, I get the logic.
All right, sorry.
No, I get the I get the logic.
I'm sure they won't be that consistent, but I'm just trying
to Sure. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know anymore at this point. It's gotten terrible. These guys are they're fucking insane. And that's Midnight's Edge for you. Like, they used to actually do quality shit. And you're right. Everything here is just negative. Shang-Chi, not a triumph, which is something that Nerdrotic says. Is Kathleen in or out? Cowboy Bebop, how to fail and how to succeed, right?
The secret war behind ScarJo lawsuit.
Yeah, there was, and that again, you know what that's from? You know who's in that one? Fucking Cameron Pasha is part of that too. Because that's the kind of shit he was talking about, like with Bob Chapek and Scarlett Johansson were actually working together to take out Kevin Feige. I'm like, the type of bullshit that they allow to go absolutely unchallenged. And you know what, Saggy? If you talk to that particular person, call them a fucking coward, because they are.
Wait, what happened? I heard my name. What
if you talk to the particular person who we know from that camp, call them a coward, because they are.
Why?
For not pushing back on any of this stuff, and whatever the fuck that Cameron Pasha says is now the Midnight's Edge is now the Cameron Pasha channel. Let's be fair. I mean, look at this here. It's like,
I've heard him push back a little on Pasha.
Whatever.
No, I have. I was on a panel on Echo Base Network with him and Pasha, they were some of them were talking. I forget who it was, but somebody was taking sounded like they were taking shots at Mikey, and I know Pasha was saying something about that he's heard of Mikey Sutton, and then I think they were trying to say something about Mikey wasn't credible source or something along those lines. Again, don't quote me because this was a while ago, but I do remember that he did push back and he said no, he did kind of go on bat for Mikey during that time. He did push back.
Matthew Lillard?
Yeah, they got Matthew Lillard to talk to him for like 11 minutes.
These people?
Because here's the thing, they come to people and they go, look, we have a YouTube channel with 205,000 subs. We talk movies. We'd like to talk to you. And they, all right.
Usually how it goes.
Who interviewed Matthew Lillard? Was it Robert Meyer Burnett?
No, it was Tom was there and like some other people.
Oh my god.
Well, now
so, look at this here, like, right? They did this here. Treble is My Business live watch party. This one here. Tom Conkle is a guy who comes on here quite often. I met Tom like my first week in LA. I met Tom, and this is back in 2010. And like, I know he watches my live streams occasionally. I've seen him pop up in the chat. But the thing is, like, I mean, I told him, I fucking flat out told him, I'm unfriending you because you are associating with these shitty fucking people that lie to people. I fucking did it. I don't give a shit. I told him flat out. I'm all like, they lie to people, and you are supporting their lies. And on his Facebook, he's like, oh, support my good friend Cameron Pasha and this shit. I'm like, no, they fucking lie to people. And the thing is, what I believe it is, in the case of Tom, is that Tom has worked in the industry for a long time. The thing with Tom is I think he's bitter. I think he's angry that he never got the success that he wanted. This was his movie. This Trouble Is My Business movie. And I think he never got what he wanted out of it. And you know what? He's just angry. And these guys are like attacking Hollywood, and he can come on in and he can attack it with very little blowback ever on him, because none of those guys are ever going to be seen by anyone in Hollywood. Mm-hmm. Because none of this is ever designed for anything other than bedroom-ridden chuds.
Low information.
Wait, Tom worked in movies?
Not Tom Connor, Tom Conkle.
Oh, yeah.
There's a difference there. There's a
I
difference
was
there.
so confused. I was like, wait,
Sorry.
what?
Yeah, no. I look at this here, like Gina, can Star Wars Gina Carano and Daily Wires, Ben Shapiro. What is this? Disrupt Hollywood? No, not at all.
No,
not
they absolutely can't.
Not by a fucking mile.
Not when that gets 67,000 and then your Eternals review gets 150,000.
Yeah.
No.
And then look at this one here, right? Like Gina Carano to return to Star Wars while Kathleen Kennedy goes on extended vacation 6 months ago. No, Gina Carano's not returning. It's like it's low IQ, misinformation, bullshit is what it is. And they know it. That's the thing that pisses me off the most is fucking Andre knows it. Like Andre fucking knows that shit. And they're all just like,
it's just so sad to see how far this channel's fallen because I remember like, God, was it 2015? Even a little bit of 2016, a little bit in there too. They had some decent videos and, they used to be a interesting place to watch for because they used to be an engaging channel, but now they just fallen into bullshit. So it sucks. It's really sad to see.
It is. It's pretty shitty that they fucking know better, but they'd rather get the money by lying to you. And that's the thing. I don't have any problem out there. You know what I mean? Like if anyone who watches, posts in the fucking comment section about like you just clout chasing or no, it's not clout chasing. I don't care about their opinion. And I've been honest about that. I don't care if they like something or they dislike something. Any one of their reviews, I'm not going to attack because if they've seen it, I'm not going to challenge their opinion on it. But what I'm going to challenge is when you bring out a person who hasn't apparently worked in the industry in a decade, who says some of the most outlandishly crazy shit without one iota of a fucking pushback and asking for anything that's relevant, but then you treat them like they are the golden goose.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not the first time they've done this either. Like there was a guy in there, and maybe I told you this before, but back in 2016, I was in their Facebook group, or 2017, and there was a guy there who was just attacking anyone who said that they liked Star Trek Discovery. Anyone who said they liked Star Trek, he would come out and attack them. And I told Tom and I told Andre, I said, hey, what the fuck is going on? Like this guy is like attacking people. And I'm like, what are you guys going to do anything about it? And they said, no, because his wife apparently has connection to the production of Star Trek Discovery and they're going to let him do what he wants. So I left the group because I'm not going to be part of that shit.
That doesn't make any sense. Like because his wife is connected to it, he's talking shit to everybody that likes it.
Yeah. Because they're not going to do anything about it. They're not going to protect their audience from a clearly toxic person because they want the access.
Yeah. Yep.
That's the whole fucking point. They're cowards. They're cowards. That's all they are.
Speaking
They're all
of access,
cowards and grifters.
I'm 100% clout chasing Kevin Smith right now, and I will be doing a He-Man season 2 review tomorrow.
I've been trying to get him to fucking let me do an interview. That would be, milestone.
Is it just me, or does no one else miss thick Kevin Smith? Because I miss thick Kevin.
I'm glad that he's healthy. I'm glad he's not gonna have a fucking heart attack and die.
He could have died.
I'm glad he's healthy, but I still miss him being like a little thick. Like you could still be healthy in the little thick.
Well, he could be thick now. Where it counts.
Yeah, he's probably got a fucking thickie.
I mean, I just miss thick. He looked like he was like a good snuggle bear.
But now he looks like he's not gonna die in his sleep. So that's probably.
I was legit shocked when that heart attack happened. I was worried. Really, really, really worried.
I didn't realize. I mean, he'd grown out of favor as far as like he hadn't made movies that were as exciting. Like I was a huge fucking fan back in the day, and I never stopped liking him. But he just wasn't someone that I really spent the time thinking about. But when he had a fucking heart attack, I suddenly was like, no, Kevin Smith.
No, I mean, I totally forgot about the heart attack, to be honest with you. And like, I'm glad he's healthy, but it's like, is it weird? But like, some people just, to me, look better with a little extra pounds. Like Jennifer Hudson, I thought she looked better, bigger, and she looks weird to me now that she's skinny. It's like the weirdest thing.
Adele took me by surprise.
Right.
Because like when she lost, I thought she was attractive before, but then like you see her, like it's like thin Adele, and I was like, wait. At first I'm like, I'm like, it's just so different. And then I've warmed up to thin Adele, and I'm like, thin Adele's pretty fine.
What tends to happen is like, especially if there's somebody that's been big all their life, is then they lose a bunch of weight, and it's like, but the bone structure is still that of a big person. You know what I mean? So it kind of looks a little weird.
I just saw pictures of Kevin Smith, and I was just like, I miss you when you had a little bit of meat on you, because you look like a hug, like a big teddy bear that I just wanted to
so
snuggle.
happy now, though.
I mean, no, I know he does. I get it. It's weird because
I'll fight you over Kevin Smith.
I want.
baby.
Listen,
God
I want
damn
him.
it.
I want him to live for as long as his life. You know, but like I always wanted to like meet him and be like, I just want to hug you. You're like a big bear that I just want you to just hold me and make me feel safe.
Are you high? Are you on crack cocaine?
Listen,
Are you okay?
RJ, listen, shut up. You wouldn't know if I was, because you're so friggin' vanilla. You wouldn't even know if I was high. You don't even know what being high is, RJ. So shut up and let me fantasize about my thick Kevin Smith, damn it.
Okay.
You do you, I guess, but that is just okay.
So the Purple Lord Leo Anasi says the problem with Star Wars is that none of the creators have ever cared about canon, and now the fans have noticed. That is actually not true. When Disney, the thing is, the EU was never about canon. Lucas never considered it canon. So to Lucas, it was always just the prequels and the OT. That was it. And then Disney was like, well, we want to make our own canon and we want to care about that. So we're going to go and make our own canon. And that's what they've done. So they absolutely care about canon. I mean, that's pretty apparent at this point. But they've made a new canon in their own image, which is something that has bothered quite a few people. So. What? What's he saying?
Benson's comment cracked me up.
I get the feeling that Kevin Smith doesn't make RJ hard.
Benson's, yeah,
That makes no sense, but okay.
Listen, if it's okay if he doesn't make you hard. Apparently, when
I like Kevin Smith. He's a good guy. His I always remember listening to his when he was on stage and talked about his experience writing Superman Lives. Funniest goddamn thing ever, man.
Oh
man, as well as directing Bruce Willis. That was another classic.
Yes. I heard that one at Comic-Con when he did it live. When he did the whole cop-out story. It was great. But I remember when I first saw An Evening with Kevin Smith, my friend and I just got drunk on Zombie, whatever that malt liquor was or whatever the hell it was. That was funny, but man, I had a fucking hangover. Like 4 hours of Kevin Smith, and I'm like, we're gonna drink this whole goddamn bottle. And then I had college in the morning. Good old days like that. Anyway, Ben Harris quickly asks, have you spoken about the reaction to Star Wars Hotel Cruiser? It looks horrible and rightfully getting hammered in the comment section. Oh, it looks bad.
Dude, I saw the pictures. I'm like,
it looks bad.
No, it's like, dude, you're asking $6,000 fucking dollars? Why?
Well. Okay, so like this is where it gets a little bit weird. The 6,000 is like if you have a room of 4 people, that's 4 people split. So that would be like $1,500 a person for a 2-night adventure. I mean, so if you're looking at it from that perspective, like it does kind of lower the cost a little bit, but irregardless.
Well, it's like when I saw the concept art a couple of years ago, I'm like, okay, this looks kind of like a very premium, nice looking experience. And I saw the photos from the video. I'm like, where the fuck did the money go?
Well, so the other part of that too, and I'm not trying to defend it. It looks like ass, but I'm trying to use my filmmaker brain and like also how like, again, I think the lighting was really bad.
No, it was not lighting. The sets looked like really cheap plastic too.
They did, but the lighting will also influence that, right? If you walk in and the bridge looks like a Star Wars bridge, you're not looking at like the knobs and plastic. You're looking at the LED screens. You're looking at the world around you, the ambience, the aesthetic of it all. That's what you're going to be looking at, and that's what you're going to be feeling when you go in. What we're watching here is a corporate PR thing where they flew the kid from the Goldbergs from LA to Orlando to go and like walk through what appears to be the set of Star Trek: The Next Generation, and claim that it's Star Wars, but without like the sounds and the sights and whatever they're going to do. Yeah, it's a rough sell. And then, but what I don't care so much about that. What got me was the video of the guy who runs Disney parks, who is just like trying to do the lightsaber training. And it looks like worse than the Hall of Presidents in regards to how animatronic it came across. It was bad.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's just bizarre. It's just bizarre to me. But I saw the funniest thing, like one of the top comments on the video that I just saw. It said, "I can't wait for the Defunctland video on this."
Yeah, I really want to go see it here. Benson says Matt's making Enosh streams look short. Hey man, we had a full panel tonight and we dove into a really terrible video, but we've also had some really funny conversations. So, stuff you wouldn't get over in the Poindexter Lounge. I mean, you get over here. Hollywood After Dark. Talking about eating that puss. Nom 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 nom. Wow. What the fuck was that?
What the fuck was that?
What?
As soon as you say eating that puss and Seki lets out this like sound that you're like, what is going on?
Oh, I was doing a callback to the Skeletor eating pussy with it.
Yeah.
What did I just hear from Saki again just
What? What? Like?
Wow.
This is to quote Anna. This is the weirdest episode of Hollywood After Dark ever.
Yeah, I'm getting grumpy over here. Getting grumpy.
You get grumpy.
Fucking hell.
Hold on. Shifty Gism here says Enosh has talked quite a bit about eating puss. Yeah, but he plays it up as cheeky, right? He plays it up as cheeky. He'll be like, "I'm a hero," and then I'll be like, "I'm fucking macking on clam, bitch." What do I mean by that? Fucking clam chowder. I'm shucking oysters. I'm going for them pearls. Fuck motherfucker. I'm gonna work that clit.
Spherical Man's comment there. Change it from Chud Watch to RJ's Chub Watch.
No, what the fuck?
All right, to RJ's
Got the
Chub
clip of me yelling at him too.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm really tired, so I'm just gonna be laughing.
Yeah, I have got to get to bed. I gotta take my kid to we're going to
You're all going to hell.
A bouncy house sort of thing.
No,
tomorrow.
you
Should
are
be a lot of fun.
RJ.
That sounds like a good time.
Good night, everybody.
All right, everyone. Thank you so much. Be sure to check out Resident Injustice, Saggy Melons, Force Adversity, and Caden, who does produce over there on Ty's Pop Culture Corner. And Lean On Me is the other one, Caden, I think you do.
Yeah, Lean On Me / Little Big Cities.
Oh, RJ quit YouTube.
I ain't quit. I'm
Like a-
teasing something.
Like a bitch.
Like a tickle, like a tease.
I'm
like a
doing
lick.
some things. I'm doing some things. Just
Yeah,
stay
yeah,
here.
You're doing. He's doing some edging, is what he's doing.
He's
a little
being a
midnight.
hero.
Yeah, that's what he's doing.
Ben, I did play it the other night. I didn't dive into the set. I was more like about the experience, but maybe we'll have to. So anyway, guys, thank you all very much. I don't know if I'll be on tomorrow night because it's Friday, so I'll probably be out doing late night delivery. Plus, it's my kid's birthday, so I might just spend the day. She's 4 now. She's turned 4. So crazy to think that I have a 4-year-old.
Benson's, you guessed it.
RJ's working for his OnlyFans. Hey, you know what? That's RJ's Chub Watch right there. That's your OnlyFans name, RJ.
Chud Watch.
No. Oh, dude, you know what you do? Hear me out real quick and then we'll end it. What you do is you just wear a really tight pair of tighty whities and you just like pull them tight, but you just get a shot of the outlines.
Oh my god, Drabble, why? Okay.
What?
You're all
What?
going to hell.
I'm
You're
just
all
saying,
going
if
to
it's like
hell.
a baby's arm holding an apple, he'll make fucking millions.
Oh my god, end the stream, please.
You're all going to hell.
If you want RJ's outlines, let me know in the comments section. Until later, we'll see you guys.